that invades the city of Rafah. That's where Hamas continues to hold so many civilians as essentially human hostages, human shields. The president's ultimatum was not well received by Israel, also condemned by many U.S. lawmakers, and that includes more than 24 House Democrats who sent the White House a letter criticizing the president's threat. Former President Trump coming off a massive rally in New Jersey over the weekend, accusing the media cameras of refusing to show the real size of the crowd.
Turn your cameras around to show the audience, okay? They never do it. Look, fake news. They never do it. They never do it.
Trump says even Democrats are starting to rally around his campaign, making victory over Joe Biden possible in all 50 states.
He's so bad, I think we're going to win them all. All across America, millions of people in so-called blue states are joining our movement based on love, intelligence, and a thing called common sense.
The sharp interest rate hikes of the past 2 years will likely take longer than previously expected to bring down inflation. That's according to several Federal Reserve official. Jennifer King shares reports that that's raising a lot of new concerns among American consumers.
Economist Gennady Goldberg with TD Securities says the average rate for a new 30-year mortgage is nearly 7.1%, but the average rate on all outstanding mortgages is just 3.8%, the highest gap since the 1980s. Neil Kashkari, president of the Federal Reserve's Minneapolis branch, says it may take longer for the Fed's rate hikes to be felt, so the most likely scenario is that rates stay put for an extended period of time. Jennifer King, Washington.
You'll find more of these stories at townhall.com.
If your Sleep Financial Group is not a law firm.
This story is called The Ugly Truth About Timeshare. If you think you've done your family a favor by buying a timeshare, you need my help. Hello, I'm Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group. 10 years ago, I started helping folks cancel their timeshare. In the process, started Wesley Financial Group to do one thing, help people get out of their timeshare nightmare. When you buy a timeshare, the timeshare company can raise your annual maintenance fees at will. I recently helped a couple that had their maintenance fees go from $800 to $3,200 a year. They also received a $4,000 assessment for a hurricane that was over 1,000 miles away. Sound crazy? Stop the insanity today. Call my office now. If we take you as a client, I guarantee we'll cancel your timeshare or you'll pay nothing.
Want out of your timeshare? Call now for your free timeshare exit info kit. 800-349-8877. That's 800-349-8877. 800-349-8877.
Jason Walker has a report on some futuristic-sounding military innovations on display at a recent air show.
When two U.S. fighter jets recently faced off in a dogfight in California, only one was actually piloted by a human being. The other was flown by AI in a display of how far the U.S. military has come in its use of artificial intelligence. But it's only a hint of the technology on the horizon. Among the new projects is one that would help the military to keep operating and navigate by magnetic fields if a GPS satellite was attacked. Jason Walker reporting.
A tiny, low-priced electric vehicle called the Seagull has American car makers trembling. The car, launched last year by Chinese automaker BYD, sells for about $12,000 in China. But it drives well and is put together with craftsmanship that rivals U.S.-made vehicles. More from townhall.com. The first recipient of a genetically modified pig kidney transplant has died nearly 2 months after undergoing that procedure.
Rick Slayman underwent the procedure at Massachusetts General Hospital in March, and the hospital's transplant team says it's deeply saddened by Slayman's passing, and they offered condolences to his family. They say there's no indication he died as a result of the transplant. Slayman's family thanked his doctors, saying their efforts gave them 7 more weeks with him. They say their memories from that time will remain in their minds and hearts. Ron DeRockstra reporting.
Minnesota has unfurled its new state flag atop the Capitol. The flag and state seal were adopted to replace an old design that Native Americans disliked. The new symbols illuminate an old state seal that featured the image of a Native American riding off into the sunset while a white settler plows his field with a rifle at the ready. More on these stories can be found at townhall.com.
What in the wide, wide world of sports is going on here?
I promise you, whatever scum did this, not one man on this force will rest for 1 minute until he's behind bars. Now let's grab a bite to eat. Yeah, come on.
I feel the hot wind on my shoulder and the touch of a world that is older. I hit the switch and check the number. I leave it on and then I slumber. I hear the rhythm ringing through it. Flamenco guitar and cumbia music. I hear the talking of the DJ. The travel and what does he say? I'm on a Mexican radio. I'm on a Mexican radio.
Broadcasting live from high atop the J.P. White Building in downtown Roswell, New Mexico. It's Mornings with Mike Winters on 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM.
Is that what I sound like when I talk?
Now, here's your host, Mike Winters.
And good morning, one and all. Welcome to Mornings with Mike Winters. I am he. That would be me, Mike Winters. Happy Monday.
Shut up.
Happy Monday.
There's no such thing.
No. Yes, there is.
That's true. There is.
The day off Monday.
Mhm.
Memorial Day weekend coming up.
If a Monday falls on a payday. Those delightful Mondays when you wake up and there's just clicks waiting for you.
Yeah.
That doesn't happen very often.
No, just a guard. Although, I know students and teachers across the land. Because I think this is the second to last Monday. I think I got like 2 weeks left. This week, next week, and that's about all she wrote for the school year. So for some of us, one less wake up till their summer vacation. So some people are happy, maybe thinking, all right, Monday starts that roll for the last couple weeks here. So.
This is a big transitional year. One of my kids is going to middle school. One of my kids is going to elementary school. So,
are they excited?
One is.
Yeah.
One is very excited. The other one, well, I feel like maybe it's more my fault that she's not as excited because all I've been saying is middle school is terrible.
Oh,
middle school
that doesn't help.
And middle schoolers are just not enjoyable.
I'm not a psychiatrist.
I know.
But
I'm not doing it.
Well,
okay. It's more that I'm trying to get her ready. I said, look, you're going into another space, the real world, and if you let them, they will chew you up. And I want her to be mentally prepared for that.
Sure, I get you.
Oh, my memory's on. Dang it. Usually I fix that. I'm off this morning.
But, yeah, I get what you're saying. But at the same time, I mean, you don't want to handle the world's horrors in one.
Yeah. The world is a scary place and it's out to get you. Good night, sweetie. Yeah, no, I'm not trying to bury her. But...
Kid's going to look like they're going to war. He comes in with a helmet and bandolera.
She's just huddled in the corner in the fetal position going, I don't want to be killed.
I'm ready.
Well, You give her the worst possible scenario and then whatever happens can't be that bad, right? I mean, right? That's got to be one way of looking at it.
That is a perspective. Yes. I saw lots of movies over the weekend.
Yeah?
I felt like I got some movies in.
Nice.
Like I saw 3 movies.
Okay.
2 I wanted to see. 1 I liked and didn't realize.
One I grabbed someone's hand and was taken into.
Well, it was so Friday night after baseball.
Mm-hmm.
Congratulations to the God of Rockets. They advanced to the state playoffs. They won 2 on Friday night. They made it a doubleheader Friday night because they were worried about the weather. Did it even rain Saturday?
Nope.
I don't think I saw any rain at all.
Not one drop. In
fact, it was like an 80%, 70% chance of rain. I'm like, hey, what happened?
It was downright pleasant on Saturday.
Yeah, I don't recall seeing any rain anywhere. But anyway, it was cloudy, and it was enough to get baseball done Friday night. But they took care of business. They played a doubleheader, swept Kirtland Central there in 2 games, and we'll move on to the next round of the state playoffs, which we'll have here for you Thursday, 9:30.
Yes,
so
radio only, I believe.
Yeah, it is radio. We hit state playoffs. No video, no mas. It's all in Albuquerque, and it'll be all on the radio. So But we'll have their first game Thursday, 9:30 here on the radio. So our morning show will get cut short, about an hour, 45 minutes there. If it's a 9:30 game, I'm not sure if that's the first game of the day. If it is, that should start on time. But if they have an 8 o'clock game, I probably won't start at 9:30. I just know history, and the first games of the day start on time at the tournaments. None of the games after that start on time. They anywhere from 30 to an hour late, just depending on, because they play on ball.
It's baseball. Those games, there's not really a set time limit necessarily.
And just there's a lot of teams. And I think they give them 2-hour windows or something like that.
Yeah.
And unless there's a mercy rule going on, getting a baseball game in 2 hours is not easy. It's softball can be done because they don't mess around. But baseball, they got to scratch themselves between pitches 10 times. There's like a whole thing, and it just takes forever. Throw back to the first baseman 6 or 8 times. There's, a lot of dragging it out.
Okay, so I was actually curious about this because I read a story about this like a while back, and I remembered it happened, but I couldn't remember who the teams were. The Pawtucket Red Sox and the Rochester Red Wings, they're two teams from AAA's International League, back in 1981, put on the longest game in professional history. Stretched over 3 days, the game lasted 33 innings with 8 hours and 25 minutes of playing time.
Good Lord.
That's just so much baseball.
Just let them score.
Right. At that point, it's not a game.
That's right. It's
a commitment.
Yeah, it's a Guinness World Record attempt here.
But anyways, after baseball.
So anyway, after baseball, I went home and watched. I was wanting something to watch on TV, and I got on the Max app, and I saw right there in front the Iron Claw movie was available on Max. And so I was like, I've been wanting to see that movie. Not enough to pay for it, but I wanted to see that movie. So it popped up on there. And if you are a wrestling fan, which I'm kind of not, but I love the history of wrestling.
Well, the Von Erich story is absolutely fascinating.
And it's the story of the Von Erichs, the Texas family. Wrestling's, and quite arguably, one of wrestling's biggest wrestling families, the Von Erichs. But they're out of Denton, Texas. And but the movie's actually got a bunch of not superstars, but it's got a lot of actors. Zac Efron plays Kevin Von Erich.
Yeah.
I can't remember the actor's name, but he plays Lip in the Shameless. He also plays the main actor in that show, The Bear.
Yeah. Can't think of his name either, but
he plays Kerry Von Erich.
Okay. You know what? He's got a very Kerry face too. Now that I think about it, he's got kind of that look about him.
Yeah. And then I don't recognize the actors that play David Von Erich and Michael Von Erich. The dad is Fritz. He's I don't know his name as an actor, but if you ever seen the movie Shawshank Redemption, the main prison guard, the kind of the head guy that was kind of the real
Michael
jerk.
Harney.
Yeah, he's the dad.
Okay.
He's been in other stuff too, but I think that's probably something that most people recognize him from. He plays a lot of prison guards, but he plays the Von Erich dad, and that's a good movie. It's depressing because you got to know the story of the Von Erich, what they call the Von Erich curse, and tragedy has befallen that whole family on many folds, many. It's just like, put it this way: I mentioned all them Von Erichs. There's only one alive.
Yeah.
Kevin. Spoiler alert.
Yeah, that was. I mean, there's a long history of the curse of the Von Erichs, and that whole story.
But it's really now you could definitely tell the movie's told from the Kevin Von Erich because he's kind of the main character, and Zac Efron, and so it's kind of told again because he's the one that's alive. It's kind of his story mostly.
Right.
Maura Tierney's in it too. If you ever remember her, she's a actress. She was in ER.
Okay. Oh
Doc
my God.
Hollywood.
Really?
She was if you ever remember that movie Doc Hollywood, the Michael J. Fox. She was the love interest in that.
I haven't seen her in years.
She's well, I didn't recognize her at first. She plays the Von Erich's mother.
Okay.
Did not recognize her at first. But anyway, it's a good movie. Highly recommend it. It will make you sad, but it was really good. If you look curious about the Von Erich story and all that, it's a good movie. It was really good. Other things I saw, and I know we got a whole thing, so I saw the Unfrosted movie.
Oh yeah,
on,
with, Seinfeld.
on Netflix, the one about Jerry Seinfeld's movie about Pop-Tarts.
Mm-hmm.
That thing has got a who's who everything. Like every scene has a famous actor or actress in it. It's just from Melissa McCarthy to Hugh Grant to I mean, it just keep, and it's all in Jerry's friends from over time.
Mm-hmm.
I'll say this: if you like Seinfeld, the TV show, you're gonna like Unfrosted.
Okay,
It's Seinfeld comedy. You can definitely see where Seinfeld's comedy is and Larry David's comedy isn't. Like where you like, this is all the parts of Seinfeld that have the funny jokes without the weird awkward
without all
parts.
the awkwardness, right?
Where the Larry David awkward situation part, the rest of this is vintage. That just the way the jokes are told, how they tell it in different, you know, they basically are talking about the Pop-Tart story, but it's also told like the space race. Like they're coinciding the space race and the Pop-Tarts being made together. So that they're telling the Pop-Tart story like it's the space race.
Did they talk about the name?
Unfrosted?
No. Did they talk about the name Pop-Tarts?
Oh yeah, it's all over
because
the movie.
Originally they were going to call them, I believe,
there was about 37
toaster
different-
crumpets or something.
Yeah, there's a whole slew of that.
But the reason they went with Pop Tarts is because of the pop art movement of the moment.
Mm-hmm.
And
yeah, they discuss all that in the movie.
Nice.
Put it this way: they got a Walter Cronkite guy that does Walter Cronkite, and that's all. And see, that's part.
See, I'm gonna have to.
That's
go back
part
and
of the
watch it.
jokes of the movie. You got. I want to tell you about how they do that. Pop
Is it closer to like a biopic, or is it closer to like Weird, where it's like one person's telling their history, but it's like,
oh, this history's not the history.
Okay, so
this
it's-
history is a comical version.
Got
It's the history in general terms.
Okay,
like the things they do, they did, how they did it. No, that's
so
common.
less Hudsucker Proxy and more like the Weird Al movie.
Just for example, you were talking about the Pop-Tarts and the pop art. They basically make it so Walter Cronkite, because he read it on the prompter wrong as Pop-Tarts, and they had another name, and then they jokingly work in, wow, see that even sounds like pop art, like the. But anyway,
that's cool.
But that's the whole movie's like that.
Okay.
Like it's the spinning of, like, there's a whole strike between the all of the mascots. By the way, Hugh Grant plays great Tony the Tiger. Okay, Snap, Crackle, and Pop are all and they're like doing. Like they're going on strike because Pop-Tarts don't have a logo or a mascot,
right?
And so they're thinking they're getting rid of us, and so that's going on. It's a whole.
I did see.
It's a funny movie. If you trust me, if you like Seinfeld, you like it. It's not. It's okay for the family. It's not. The jokes aren't like real gross or any of that. It's relative. It's Seinfeld,
right?
Like Seinfeld's stand-up's never
And
been
that's
that
on
way either.
That's on Apple TV, right?
No, that's on Netflix.
It's on Netflix. Okay, Netflix. Okay,
But
it was one of those ones I didn't have.
It's a cute, funny movie. I enjoyed
I'll check it out.
And I even say your kids will like it. It might, the jokes will be a little over younger kids' head, but it's visually they'll like it. It's a lot of, Willy Wonka meets, Jerry Seinfeld.
Yeah, I'll definitely have to check that one out. What was I'm curious though. What was the one you didn't want to see?
And I did want to see. I just didn't think I wanted to see it until it was Saturday night. I had nothing to watch. I was flipping. Finally, I stopped and watched Guy Ritchie's The Covenant, which is a pretty good war movie. Yeah,
okay,
it's a good war movie.
Well, it's in your wheelhouse. So I get that.
Yeah, it stars Jake Gyllenhaal, and it's based on some true events in 2018 where they're in Afghanistan, and Sergeant, the character that Jake Gyllenhaal plays, gets basically they're on a hunt and find missions in Afghanistan. Things go south. They get messed up and lose the unit, with the exception of him and his interpreter. And the interpreter basically, they go missing for months and saves life and all this. And so Jake Gyllenhaal gets sent home. His interpreter's family are like uber famous and about to get killed because they're hunted because of what they did. And so Jake Gyllenhaal's on a mission to get him, to bring him back to become a U.S. citizen. His family. And so that's the premise.
It's based on a true story.
Yes, it is.
Okay.
Based on a true events. The sergeant, I can't remember his name, happened in 2018 in Afghanistan. But it was a good movie.
Nice.
But I just didn't realize I wanted to see it till I watched it, and I was like, "It's a really good movie."
That's a full weekend right there.
Right. That's right. Let me give you the rundown of the show.
Oh, yes.
Matt Bristol patiently waiting here, so we got to get the hour going for his monthly visit. Matt pops in each month from Bristol office and talks sage and wise legal advice for us here. So we'll do that in just a few. Jim Tucker talking some ham radio with his ham radio club, going to join us in the 8 o'clock hour, gives an update there. And then in the 9 o'clock hour, Patrick Smith with Leadership Roswell Alumni Association will join us. They're wrapping up. They got another week or so here of nominations for the Leadership Roswell Alumni Association awards banquet, where they're looking for the public to nominate leaders in our community. And deadline's coming up here around the 15th to get your applications or recommendations in for that. So he'll join us to that, and of course talk about the event and all that too. Before we do any of that, let's go ahead and take a gander at your weather, which if you like sunny and 80s and 90s, you're going to like this week.
Weather is brought to you by Bob Reed Pest Control. From general pest control, termite control, trees, shrubs, and yard treatment for both residential and commercial. Call the pest management professionals at Bob Reed Pest Control, 575-623-5344.
I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton with your Pecos Valley weather. We've got high pressure set up for a while, mid-80s on the afternoon high today, and we should have plenty of sunshine. The wind will stay fairly light. Mid-50s for the overnight hours under clear skies, and then we're in the low 90s for the afternoon high on Tuesday and sunny. A few clouds on Tuesday night. We'll have sunshine on Wednesday. Slim chance of a late-day shower or thunderstorm. I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton, and that's your latest forecast.
Thank you, Steve. Currently 56 degrees here in Roswell. Humidity at 47%. Winds calm at the moment. Sunny and 85 today with northwest winds 5 to 10 miles per hour. Pretty perfect day right there. Tonight, mostly clear. Overnight low of 56. South winds 5 to 10. For you Tuesday, sunny in the low 90s tomorrow. 92 officially. Northwest winds 5 to 10. Wednesday, mostly sunny, 91 for a high, northwest winds at 5 to 15 miles per hour. Thursday, there's a 40% chance at showers and thunderstorms. We'll see. We'll see. I see this before. Well, you saw all Saturday. Well, we get 70%, something like that. It got cloudy. So, saying there's a chance. And then Thursday night, we are looking at a 20% chance at showers and thunderstorms. And then Friday, sunny and 88, sunny and 94 Saturday, sunny and 97 on Sunday. So, creeping near that century mark. Oh, it's coming. It'll happen before you know it. But so maybe we can slip into June before that happens. We'll see. All right, 7:23. We're going to get you into your Roswell Livestock Report with Smiley Wooten. Quick break, and then Matt Bristol, who's been patiently waiting, will join us to talk sage legal advice. Don't go away.
Good morning, this is Smiley Wooten at the Roswell Livestock Auction. A good May run this week following Mother's Day on a nice selection of all classes of cattle, especially high-quality native calves and yearlings with condition. We expect to sell 1,100 head. Break it down like this: 100, 125 weighing cows and bulls, 50 to 75 pairs of bred cows, 900, 950 calves and yearlings. Today's sale will include 20 to 25 cow-calf pairs, mostly black, white face, red, white face with good calves. These pairs 4 to 9 years old. 110 calves, L7 Ranch, right up here north of Roswell. X-quality Charolais crossbred calves, Bovinshield Gold 7-way, long age, thin condition, 350-500 pounds. 96 calves and light yearlings, Gresham Ranch, Portales, New Mexico. X-quality black, white face, red, white face, Angus and Brangus crossbreds. 2 rounds of Bovinshield Gold 7-way, weaned 90 plus days, medium condition, right off some short graze out wheat, 400-600 pounds. 90 calves and light yearlings, Azura Ranch, Morton, Texas. Good quality crossbred calves and light yearlings, 2 rounds of shots, medium condition, right off short wheat, 400-650 pounds. 127 light heifer yearlings, the Barrow Cattle Company, Andrews, Texas. Reputation quality, 80% black, white face Angus crosses, 20% red, white face. These cattle are weaned 120 plus days, Pyramid 5 7-way, thin to medium condition, right off grass, 500-675 pounds. 23 kids, Mr. Ernest Grimlin at Yeso, New Mexico, ex-quality black, white cattle weaned 60 days, 1 round of shots, 350, 500 pounds, 18 kids, Casabon Ranch, Hope, New Mexico, ex-quality black Angus cross kids, Bow Shield Gold 7-way, 375, 550 pounds, and 20 calves, the H-Bar Y Ranch at Carlsbad, ex-quality black Angus and Brangus cross calves, cattle weaned 50 days, 2 rounds of shots, 350, 500 pounds. Sale time this morning, 9 o'clock. Sell pairs of bred cows, 9:45. Be selling calves and yearlings about 10 to 10:30. Real light on cows and bulls today, so don't be late. We expect to sell 1,100 head today. This is Smiley Wooten, Roswell Livestock Auction.
Senator Greg Nybert is the only candidate in the race for State Senate District 27 with a strong conservative record on border security and stopping illegal immigration. Greg Nybert has voted against free college for illegals. He's voted against professional licensing for illegals. He has stood strong against Michelle Lujan Grisham, turning New Mexico into a sanctuary state for drugs, crime, and criminals. He has fought to end catch and release for violent criminals and will continue to do so. New Mexico is at the center of a border crisis because our laws make us a haven for illegal immigrants, drug trafficking, and cartel activity. MLG's liberal agenda has unleashed terrible harm on our state. That's why a vote for Greg Nybert is a vote to take back our border security. Greg will keep fighting against the march of the radical left that threatens to harm our way of life. Vote for Greg Nybert, a proven conservative voice for State Senate.
Paid for by Greg Nybert for State Senate.
If you're missing a tooth or several teeth, a dental implant may be the ultimate solution. Implants look and feel so much like real teeth that you probably forget you have an implant. Maupin and Brown Dentistry is one of New Mexico's most experienced implant providers, with literally thousands of implant patients who are absolutely delighted with the results. Call Maupin and Brown today for an evaluation. You'll be surprised how affordable implants can be. Maupin and Brown, your choice for experienced, state-of-the-art dentistry.
Look forward 1 year, 4 years, 40 years. What does the future look like? How will you ignite it? At the University of New Mexico, we fuel the future. This is where ideas come to life and identities flourish, where we define opportunity as individuals and as a pack. Being a Lobo is about so much more than the classes you take. It's about the mark you make on your world. The journey starts here. Ignite your future at apply.unm.edu.
You're invited June 15th to downtown Artesia, New Mexico to celebrate the 100th anniversary of the Permian Basin's oil and gas industry, marked by the success of Illinois No. 3 well in 1924. Enjoy a day filled with a patriotic equipment parade, food trucks, water slides, live music, an oil field cook-off, snow cones, oil field Olympics, and more. For more information, visit artesiachamber.com or call 575-746-2744. Paid for by Artesia Lodgers Tax.
My name is Pat Boone, and I'm running for the New Mexico State Senate, District 27. My deep-rooted connection to the land and understanding of the challenges facing rural communities make me uniquely qualified to represent the interest of District 27 in the State Senate. I love this district and its people, and I look forward to representing you in Santa Fe. I'd appreciate your Republican primary vote on June 4th.
Paid for by Committee to Elect Pat Boone, New Mexico Senate, District 27, Mark McKay, Treasurer.
The average American spends 2.5 days a year looking for lost items. We aren't sure how long Europeans and Asians look for lost stuff. We lost the list. Here's Mike Winters.
Hey, good morning. It is 29 minutes after 7 o'clock, and joining us in studio this morning, officially now on the radio, Matt Bristol with Bristol Law Office. Good morning, Matt.
Good morning, Mike. How are you today?
Doing great, doing great. How's life in your world this morning?
It was good. Had a good weekend. Got some chores done. Had a good Mother's Day with my wife.
Good deal.
And,
good deal.
So we just kind of took it easy and spent the day together.
Excellent.
Didn't do anything special.
Yeah, like we kind of wife and I just kind of hung and cooked some brats, and we just kind of made it a pretty low-key day yesterday. So.
Yeah, good couples day, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, since we don't have any kids, and so my mom is no longer with us, so I guess it's my job. The cats don't really contribute much in that department, so.
No, they don't. They just kind of lay there.
Yeah, lay there and be needy. Yeah.
but well, you and Sean were talking about baseball.
Yes.
And so I was in this foreign country one time, and cricket was on the telly.
Yes. Which is an interesting sport to watch if you've ever watched it.
Yeah. Well, these were the World Cup quarterfinals. And they kept talking about, the announcer was talking about 1 day statistics for this and 1 day statistics for that. And I'm thinking, okay. So I asked the guy with me, I said, why are they differentiating 1 day stats? He says, a cricket game can last for days.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
I'm sorry.
Yeah. So we're watching this one game between two countries, and they've been playing for 3 hours, right? And the score is 2-0. And so I asked the guy, was that a good score? He says, well, don't know yet. The other team hasn't been at bat. After
Too early to tell.
3 hours.
We literally played an entire NFL football game, and you're still in like the first inning.
Yeah. Amazing stuff. Yeah.
When I was 14, I got, again, through Boy Scouts, I got to go to the World Jamboree in Australia. And while we were there in Australia, we were there during the Christmas holiday, which is their summer. So we stayed a day or two with a family there in Australia. And so while we were staying with the family, it was me and another scout, and they had a son and a daughter that were roughly around our age, and then the mom and dad. But I remember we spent an afternoon with the oldest son there, who was a little bit older than us. We were teaching him how to throw football with a rugby ball, but throw football, and he was teaching us the art of balling, which is how a pitcher in cricket, they don't call it pitching, they call it balling, and they have a whole, because they just don't throw it like a baseball. There's this whole wind up roll, and then that's it's called balling. That's the term. And so he was trying to teach us that intricacy of how to do that and wind up. And we were showing him how to throw baseball and throw football and all that stuff.
Well, what is interesting, I found in cricket is, so when I was a little kid and learning baseball, the coach would always say, defend the plate when you're a batter. Defend the plate. Well, that's what a cricket batter does.
Yeah. Those 3 sticks behind him.
Those 3 sticks behind him is what the bowler's trying to knock down.
Yeah.
And meanwhile, the batter's defending those 3 sticks.
Yes. Yeah, and I think if the bowler gets, it's called like a googly or something, if he gets a strikeout or a stick or hits there's like all kinds of terminology there, the googlies and sticky wickets and all that other thing. That's part of cricket.
Yeah, beyond that, I don't know how the game works. When they hit the ball, they run to a base. I have no idea how that
Well, and then the batters or bowlers or whatever they call them, they wear like leg pads that almost look like field hockey goalies.
If you ever watched,
the shin guards, but they're almost like goalie pads for field hockey.
Well, and for the audience that doesn't know, the ball that they're throwing actually has a raised ridge around the circumference.
Yes.
Like the equator.
Yes.
There's a raised ridge. So then when it hits the ground, it just goes off in all screwy directions.
That's why it's why the field's big, but that's probably why it takes 3 days to play a game. But anyway, it's interesting. But unless you know the rules, it takes a while to learn it, from what I'm understanding. Because I watched it for a good hour, and I'm still as lost as ever.
Yeah. Well, apparently an hour's too short to watch.
Right. I only saw like one guy, one guy bat or bowl or whatever.
Gee whiz.
Matt, although very qualified to come and tell us about various sports around the country, around the world here, but Matt normally joins us here each month to come and impart wisdom, just when it comes to anything legal, when it comes to financial planning, to family preparation, to things like that, business, defining types of business and the legalities of owning a business. We kind of cover every kind of subject there that generally most people come across legally at some point or time in their lives.
Well, we cover a lot of territory on these Monday mornings. We sure do.
Absolutely.
So today I thought we'd talk about different kinds of business entities. Don't know that we've talked about that for a while.
Yeah, we kind of and like you said, this is one of those lessons that when you start a business, these are the kind of things you have to make decisions about, and what type of business is going to be. Most people think about the product, and obviously that's an important thing. You're getting the product right and all that.
Oh yeah.
But most business owners, especially at the smallest business level, they know a ton about the product and not about business.
That's right.
And that's the that's where they run into problems.
That can be a real problem, right? So most people, the simplest form of business ownership or business entity is called a sole proprietorship, and that's where it's just the guy or the gal, and they are the business. There's no formal legal structure about anything, and it's very simple. I'm a sole proprietor, mainly because my biggest liability would be malpractice, and there is no business entity that would protect me from that.
No,
that's just the rule. So it's like, well, why bother with it then? But if you are a sole proprietor, what I do recommend is you get a tax ID number. Or a business entity business ID number. So sometimes it's called an EIN, employer identification number. Otherwise, for all sorts of stuff, you have to be giving up your social security number, and that's not always a good thing.
Gotcha. So it provides you a little personal identity protection.
Exactly, yeah. So the downside to being a sole proprietor is that you would be individually liable for the business debts. And so if you just got this little side gig on Saturdays, that's probably not a big deal. But if you actually have a storefront somewhere or even a food truck,
then it gets a little more complicated.
It gets a little more complicated. There's a few more things you may not want to be personally liable for.
The more assets that are in the business, I imagine that's when more wrinkles come into the equation here on some of that.
Yeah, or the liabilities. I mean, you got rent, now you got utilities, now you got advertising, now you got office supplies.
As responsibilities and things grow, then the type of the business will grow a little bit there too.
Yeah, and so some people do partnerships. I've had a couple people actually confuse that. Well, I want to do a partnership with an LLC. It's like, well, you can have a dog or a cat, but there's no such thing as a hybrid. Okay, there's separate legal entities.
Despite Napoleon Dynamite, there aren't real ligers.
Yeah,
you can draw them all day, but there's not one that exists.
So partnership, we don't really see very often, and the dangers to a partnership is like a marriage. Is your partner could run up all sorts of liability you don't know about.
It's as good as the trust you have in your partner.
Yeah, and you're liable for it.
Yeah.
And not only that, but your spouse would be liable because we're a community property state. So, yeah, partnerships are pretty dangerous kind of things.
Yeah, you have to have some complete trust there to really, maybe like the Wright brothers or something.
Yeah, something.
Something where they're not going nowhere.
Well, you want to keep an eye on everything. Sure. I was partnered up for a while with a law partner, and so all the checks I made sure had 2 signature lines, so that it took both signatures on every single check.
That way, there's every time, no matter what, both of you have to authorize that money going out.
The spending, and that way either one of us could say, well, what are you writing checks for? Sure. Where's the money going?
No one's left in the dark.
Right.
Makes sense.
Yeah,
yep.
Did it that way. So some people do corporations. So the reason, earlier we were talking about in a sole proprietorship or partnership, the business person is personally liable for the business debts. And so a lot of us want to shield ourselves from personal liability.
Don't want to lose your house if the business goes belly up.
Bingo, yeah. So 2 ways to protect you, the individual, from the business debts is either a corporation or an LLC, a limited liability company. So limited liability companies are fairly new, okay, like the last 30 years or so, I think. Corporations have been around a while.
But they're, LLCs are quite popular now. I mean, you see more and more businesses with their LLC monikers in the business name all over the place.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So if you want to be treated like a duck, you have to walk like a duck and act like a duck. So if you want the business protection from personal liability an LLC provides, you have to walk like an LLC and talk like one and advertise like one. So you're saying, you see these LLC letters all over the place, and that's part of acting like a duck or acting like an LLC. It has to be, you have to tell the public, it has to be on your name, your advertising, your business cards, your side of your vehicles. Yeah, the LLC letters have to appear everywhere.
Yeah. And for the public, it's important because of what that LLC and protections and things. So say that business does something that you have an issue with, you know up front it's dealing with the LLC and what's going to be involved with that, what types of protections it has, and what suit you can bring against it because it's an LLC. And as long as they operate within the rules of their LLC, they're protected. That's where the crux of the plan is operating within the rules of your LLC.
And so the advertising is an LLC. You have to sign your contracts like an LLC. There's a special way to do that.
Sure.
And if you go online with the Secretary of State and you create your own LLC, they don't tell you how to advertise or how to sign like an LLC.
Mm-hmm.
They don't give you the duck speech.
Yeah, you think there would be some kind of welcome to LLC. Here's your seminar on what your rights and responsibilities.
Well, who's going to give it? The
Exactly.
Secretary of State didn't want to get into the business of practicing law or giving legal advice.
Yeah. You think maybe one of our small business groups here would probably start?
I did that with West Corp.
Yeah.
One time they invited me over and I did a little talk about LLC stuff. So it's important to act like an LLC. And unfortunately, if you go online or your accountant creates your LLC for you, they don't give you the speech on how to properly protect yourself. But like you're saying earlier, if your business paperhead, letterhead, advertising says LLC, people know you're not going to be individually liable.
Yes.
So that's why, ladies and gentlemen, when you go to the bank and you say, well, I want to borrow some money, and they go, okay, well, what for? Well, I've got this radio LLC wants to borrow the money. The bank goes, oh, wait a minute. No personal liability. No way, Jose.
That's
we
right.
want personal guarantees for the loan.
We want you to have skin in the game. And
Exactly.
Yeah, exactly. So.
But see, people need to learn how to do that also. So if you've got a printing company, Mike Winters Printing, and I come to you and say, well, I want to do a print job. Well, what kind of a print job? Well, I want these envelopes to say, and Matt Bristol LLC. Well, see, that should trigger you, Mike Winters, to go, bingo, no personal liability. Well, we require payment up front.
Yeah.
And most people never get that bingo moment of, I need to treat this differently because there's no personal liability going on.
Because they could literally walk away from this and you can't do a thing about it.
That's exactly right.
Yeah.
Exactly right. The LLC is designed to take the bullet.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, but again, maybe you address that as in your own personal business on who and how, and obviously, if you've been dealing with someone for 100 years and you it doesn't matter about that LLC, you have established a relationship with that person. But as a business owner, especially dealing with those are the kind of things you need to pay attention to. You want to protect yourself with the best possible scenario, and we talk about the different types of businesses, and they're all the best for you for different reasons, depending on what you're trying to do.
Yes.
That's just, an LLC is perfect for some people, but some others, no, you want nothing to do with that. They should have a partnership or a solo business or be a corporation,
Yes.
Each has its advantages and disadvantages, and depending on the type of business maybe you evolve. Maybe you start out as a thing and then you evolve to an LLC or to a corporate. You're not set in stone as one and the other the rest of your business life. But
that's right. There's some businesses where they make enough money, but they want to retain money for future business operations. And so I suggest to them, I said, at this point, you need an accountant advice as to which business entity, because they're treated tax differently.
Sure.
And so at a certain point, it's like, well, you need to go to your CPA.
You got to outgrow the lawyers and get into the accountants and certified the people that do this for a living.
Yeah, okay, you're a big enough boy now, you're making enough money where you're going to have to spend some, and this is one of the areas is competent accounting advice. What's going to save you the most money?
Well, and at the end of the day, that's generally, this is how businesses go from mom and pop to craft.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's just like this. It's that growth.
Yeah, well, I got a phone call the other day from Florida, and it was a Boy Scout Council, and they had come into buku money, and they had some real estate, and it was going to be worth a lot of money. There's commercial and residential development, and so they were kind of wondering, based on some of my experiences here, kind of what I recommended. And I said, one of the things you have to realize is you're big boys now. you're in the big boy game, and you're going to be spending $15,000, $20,000 on accounting advice, legal advice, and here's 3 suggestions, and then you're going to spend money getting a proper legal inquiry into can you do this and what's the best way to do it.
Sure.
So you're in the big leagues now, have to spend that money. But they were, talking $25 million.
Yeah.
It's like, well, get ready to spend the money.
When the zeros get added to the income, then the more conversations you have to have asset protection and
do it the right way.
What to do next with the business.
Oh my goodness.
And it depends on what your goal is with the business. Do you want to grow it to be, Walmart, or do you want to keep it at a certain level, and how you treat the business next is steers you in that direction.
And something a lot of people don't realize is you can go to irs.gov and type in small business retirement plans. And the IRS has all sorts of small business retirement plans. Hello. So you could be a one-person LLC, or you could have 10 employees, but there are different small business retirement plans you can do, even if it's only you or you and your spouse.
Absolutely.
So I would certainly recommend looking into some kind of retirement plan that's available.
And of course, all that trickles down to the other stuff, healthcare and everything else, because, as a business owner, guess who provides healthcare? Or, depending on the size of your business and what, now you hit a certain number and you're obligated to, it's with the rules and everything now. So
just something to think about. So me being a sole proprietor, small businessman, self-employed, I don't have any employer sponsored benefits. I don't.
Yeah. So
I haven't had paid vacation since 1989.
Yeah. You kind of have to, account for that yourself a little bit, my father-in-law and them too, because like you, small business owners, owned his certified public accounting firm for many, many, many years. And so he's retired and everything now, but yeah, he had his own, and guess what? They just qualified for Medicare here. Is that Medicare? The one when you turn 68 or
65
Medicare. Yeah. They just, my in-laws are financially, they're not hurting. He's a CPA. If you met a broke CPA, probably not a very good CPA. But they were excited because they, now that they're officially old enough to be on Medicare, that
it saves a lot of health care.
I mean, they have supplemental things, but
it's a big cost differential.
Yeah, and they were so excited, but many small business owners are in that same boat in that situation.
Yeah. So Obamacare really helped me out in that regard. They did provide, and for my employees, that was a good thing for all of us.
Yeah.
And then Medicare is very nice to be on as well. But being a small person also motivated me, probably like your in-laws, I don't want to live like this in retirement, so I'm going to save my pennies to make sure it doesn't happen.
But as a small business owner, remember that you don't have someone taking any money out your check to put away for these things now. You have to do that.
You have to do it yourself. That's right. Absolutely.
Just remember that. I think that's one of those things that sometimes gets lost in the shuffle there when it comes to like, oh, yeah. I got to plan for my own future as well, too, here. I'm worried about the business's future, but what about your future?
Yeah, and budgeting is hugely important. Yeah. And so if you must learn how to budget. Unfortunately, I've seen a lot of businesses where they didn't pay their sales tax or payroll tax because they had a bookkeeper who was supposed to do that for them. And it's like, okay, well, if you're the business owner, how come you weren't paying attention?
I would imagine, you, in your experience as an attorney over the years, that's probably one of the bigger issues when you're dealing with business legal problems is someone else is supposed to take care of that. And as a business owner, you just didn't oversee that. And that's the one that bites them in the tail every time. And unfortunately, this is the truth about being a business owner. You've got to learn or know at least how every facet of that business works. Even if you're not the one that does it, you need to understand how the books are being taken care of.
Especially the money side, because Sometimes it's the payroll or sales tax not getting paid. Sometimes it's, well, my bookkeeper stole $50,000 from me.
And it's sad to hear those stories, but guess who's the one sitting in jail? It's not the bookkeeper.
Yes.
It's the business owner.
So it's your business. You have to know how the money works. So in my business, I make all the deposits. You know, I get the mail, I get the checks, I make the deposits, I post the sales tax. So I've always done all that stuff.
Sure.
So I've never worried about, is somebody going to mishandle the money, because I've just always done it.
That would be me. Do I trust me? Let's have a talk.
Well, it's like Oscar Wilde says, he can resist anything except temptation.
Sure.
So I just took that out of the equation.
Basically, his spouse is that other person. On the days that he's doing something that seems a little wild, and that's when he gets reeled in by the spouse. I know how that works. It's marriage. It's and vice versa. You know, the same thing happens there. But I think that's your real you in is your wife. Whether it's personal or business life, I'm willing to bet that's the all right. Who checks Matt? It's her.
Well, so she was in a former life. She was a banker.
Okay, so she's actually got the credentials to back it.
Yeah, so she's got the cred.
Yeah.
She does have the cred. But we see some people, especially doctors, and they put their wives like as office manager or something, and they have absolutely no idea how to run an office, handle people, do anything, and that's not a good place to be.
No,
you're gonna lose money doing that.
No. Well, and that's the little things sometimes are the parts of success. When you get people to when you do get to a point when you have employees that work for you. The loyalty part is the money will only get you so far. If you have people that know what they're doing, they aren't dumping on vice versa. Those people stay 30 years.
You got to treat them right, because if you, like you say, if you treat them wrong, the money ain't going to keep them.
Yep, exactly. It'll only keep them in their building for so long. You can throw as much as you want at them, but at some point, people are going to be, I don't need this.
Well, for example, the number one reason people don't go back to a restaurant is
bad service.
Bad service.
Yep.
Not bad food, bad service.
Bad service.
They were treated badly.
Yeah.
And same thing with employees. If you treat them badly, they're going to leave you, and you're going to spend all your time trying to retrain somebody and lose them. Retrain somebody, lose them.
Mm-hmm. Well, and then if you look on Yelp and everything else, what's most people complaining about? I mean, the food, they usually say the food is meh or food, but it'll be because so-and-so didn't give me my water, didn't get this. Yeah. I saw them 3 times or 1 time the entire time there.
Right.
That's the kind of stuff they complain about.
Yeah.
I just saw the time. We probably need to start, because I do have to play a few more political ads before the top of the hour.
That time of year.
'Tis the season.
So fiction and fact from Matt's Almanac.
Yes.
Okay, so we have, how much, we got 1 minute or 2 minutes?
Yeah, we got 2 minutes.
2 minutes. So, phases of the moon. We actually have 2 phases, right? We have the full moon, and we have the no moon, the new moon. And in between is the crescent.
Okay.
But it's all the in between is the crescent moon.
Just a various phases of the crescent.
Various phases. The moon is moving from one phase to the other phase. So when we see that SC crescent in a word, it denotes movement.
Okay.
So if somebody is ascending the stairs, there's movement involved.
Gotcha.
But not just standing on. Where someone's descending, there's that idea of there's movement going on.
Okay.
So what if we have birds of a feather, and depending on the sunlight and how you turn them, they change colors. And that's called... they're iridescent.
Iridescent, okay.
I'm
trying to think camouflage. Let me I got all these words of it.
They iridesce.
Gotcha.
Again, we got the SC. That means movement.
Okay.
The colors are moving.
Okay.
So one word I think is really interesting in that regard is discern.
Okay.
So you're going through the various options, and you're being discernful. You're choosing. There's movement of throwing things out, bringing things in, moving this one here, moving that one there.
Kind of like you're looking at cards and you move the cards.
Exactly. You're
exactly.
discerning what's going on. There's movement. I think that's just a fascinating word.
It is. That is kind of. I never thought it in those terms, but yeah, it does make sense. And that's the cool part. That's why I like this part because let's face it, Latin based. Our English, French, Spanish. Many German. They're Latin-based languages, even though they don't sound alike in some cases. But they all have the same rules, and so that's why sometimes you hear a word in Italian or in Spanish, and you're like, "Oh, I know what that is."
Yeah,
because of that Latin rules, and this is another one.
Yeah.
So, love that.
Interesting stuff.
BristolLawOffice.com is .net. Sorry, I got to remember that. .net.
That's all right.
BristolLawOffice.net. You can go there, and of course, if you want to see all the different types of law that Matt Bristol practices, and of course, set up a consultation to talk with him about whether you need Matt or not.
Yeah. Sometimes people don't.
That's right,
and that's fine.
And that's what. That would be that you're in a great situation if you walk in to set up a consultation with Matt, and Matt says, "You know what? You don't need me. You can go down to the clerk's office, fill out these forms, and you're good to go."
Yeah.
But you know what? Matt's going to do that for you and take care of it. And he's not going to, oh, well, that'll be $7,000, please, for my hour of time telling you that. Matt's a neighborhood guy, and he works with
Try to treat you right, then treat you the way we'd want to be treated.
Yeah. BristolOffice.net. And, of course, his home is right here in the J.P. White building on the 4th floor.
Indeedy. So look forward to seeing everybody. And thank you so much, Mike, for
anytime.
the show.
Always do enjoy our visits. And we'll see you here, if not sooner, for the next one.
Awesome. Thanks.
Excellent. Now, 7:56, let's play a few ads before they get you into news. Don't go away. You're listening to Mornings with Mike Winters.
In southeast New Mexico, our state senator Greg Nybert has a strong conservative record, supporting the right to life, working to protect our conservative values, and standing up for the Second Amendment. That's why he's endorsed by the NRA. Greg Nybert has a record of opposing the liberal progressive Santa Fe agenda. He has consistently stood against illegal immigration, Governor Michelle Lujan Grisham's harmful progressive agenda, and policies that try to take away our rights and freedoms. He has stood up for us time and time again, especially when our rights have been under attack. Greg is a champion for our communities, our values, and our way of life. Greg Nybert has a record that we can count on. He is a strong supporter of our oil and gas jobs, which is so essential to southeast New Mexico. We need Senator Greg Nybert in Santa Fe. He is a proven, committed conservative and a strong voice for eastern New Mexico.
Paid for by Greg Nybert for State Senate.
At Richland Motors, it's never been easier to sell or trade your current car, truck, or SUV for a newer model to hit the road in. Even if you don't purchase from Richland, they want to buy your vehicle for top dollar. But if you do buy from Richland, don't forget, they're the home of the powertrain warranty for life. That's a whole lot of confidence for you. See Richland for details. 2nd and Sycamore and 1309 Southeast Main.
You don't have to live with a non-healing wound. The Wound Care and Hyperbaric Medicine Center at Artesia General Hospital provides compassionate care to people experiencing chronic or complicated wounds. Led by certified family nurse practitioner Rochelle McIntyre, our wound care team will work with you to build your customized treatment plan. Podiatrist Jennifer Chow and Joseph Krupa also specialize in lower limb wound care, and we are proud to have state-of-the-art hyperbaric oxygen chambers, a proven treatment that promotes successful healing. Visit artesiageneral.com/wound to learn more.
Our values are under attack in Santa Fe. We can and must protect those values, and that is why I stepped forward when Roswell needed leadership in the State House. The governor and her liberal friends attacked the Second Amendment, our education system, and the oil and gas industry, and have failed to protect us or our border. It is time we show Santa Fe that Southeast New Mexicans will not take it anymore. This is Jared Hembry, and I am humbly asking for your vote on or before June 4th so I can continue to fight for the New Mexico we know.
Paid for by Jared Hembry for State Representative.
With the Wall Street Business Report, I'm Bill Alexander. The latest University of Michigan report shows a troubling drop in U.S. consumer confidence, signaling potential weakness in household finances, alongside a worrying increase in consumer inflation expectations. U.S. Treasury Secretary Janet Yellen on Friday called for Congress to give regulators more power to oversee the growing non-bank mortgage industry, which she said presented unique risk to financial stability. A federal judge in Texas on Friday blocked the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau's new rule for an $8 cap on credit card late fees, a victory for businesses and banking groups. A jury in Philadelphia sided against ExxonMobil and awarded $725 million on Thursday to a former Pennsylvania man who contended he suffered from leukemia due to benzene exposure during his work in the 1970s as an auto mechanic and service station attendant. For the Wall Street Business Report, I'm Bill Alexander in Washington.
The average American spends 2.5
Breaking
days
news
a year looking for lost
townhall.com. I'm Bob Agnew in Washington. Former President Trump held a rally in New Jersey over the weekend, speaking to one of the largest crowds Saturday that any candidate has had in recent years. He taunted the media cameras for refusing to turn around and show the real size of the crowd.
They never do it. They never do it.
And that prompted the crowd to start chanting, "Turn around, turn around." The presumptive Republican nominee said he has been forced to endure a lot of hardship in New York City.
As you know, I've come here from New York, where I'm being forced to endure a Biden show trial, all done by Biden.
Trump also claims that many Democrats are considering switching parties as a result of President Biden's failures. The 2024 contest featuring a big contrast when it comes to taxes. Here's White House correspondent Greg Clugston.
Many of the income tax cuts signed into law by Donald Trump in 2017 are set to expire after next year. If all the tax cuts expire, the vast majority of U.S. households would see their payments to the IRS increase. But if all the tax cuts are extended, another $4.5 trillion would be added to the national debt over the next decade. President Biden wants to extend the middle-class tax cuts while raising taxes on the wealthy. But Trump argues that tax increases would destroy the economy. Greg Clugston, Washington.
Workers at the first Apple store to unionize have now also authorized the first strike against the tech giant's retail operations. A statement from the union representing the workers at a store in Towson, Maryland, say they voted late Saturday to authorize a strike. No date was set. The workers say they're seeking changes in what they call unpredictable scheduling practices and are wanting wages that align with the local cost of living. On Wall Street right now, the Dow is up 96 points. More from townhall.com.
Here's an important message from the Diabetes Solution Center. Do you like pricking your fingers to test your blood sugar levels? No one does, but it's important to maintain your health. And now, by wearing a small remote device called a continuous glucose monitor, or CGM, you don't need to prick your fingers anymore. It's easy to use and helps you make more accurate diabetes treatment decisions. If you are testing your blood sugar 3 or more times daily, injecting insulin, or using an insulin pump, call the Diabetes Solution Center right now. And if you have Medicare or most major insurance coverage, you may be able to get a new CGM at little to no out-of-pocket cost. Shipping is free and will even bill your insurance company for you. If you are testing your blood sugar 3 or more times daily, injecting insulin, or using an insulin pump, call the Diabetes Solution Center right now to learn how to end the painful finger sticks and get your own continuous glucose monitor, or CGM, at little to no out-of-pocket cost.
A fascinating frontier in medical science has suffered a sad setback as Julie Walker reports the first person to receive a genetically modified pig kidney transplant has passed away.
Nearly 2 months after becoming the first person to undergo a genetically modified pig kidney transplant, Rick Slayman has died. Doctors at Massachusetts General Hospital did the procedure in March. The hospital's transplant team says it's deeply saddened, and there is no indication the 62-year-old died as a result of the transplant. Slayman's family thanked them, saying their efforts gave them 7 more weeks with him. Previously, pig kidneys had been temporarily transplanted into brain-dead donors. 2 men received heart transplants from pigs, although both died within months. I'm Julie Walker.
You'll find breaking news and analysis at townhall.com. The governor of New Mexico plans to court new investments in hydrogen fuel development.
Governor Lujan Grisham says she'll lead a delegation to an industry summit exhibition in the port city of Rotterdam, seeking the opportunity to sell New Mexico as a dynamic and thriving place for hydrogen industry investment. The Democrat's been a vocal proponent of investments in hydrogen as a transition fuel that can replace fossil fuels with cleaner burning hydrogen for vehicles, manufacturing, and generating electricity. But some environmentalists call hydrogen a false solution because it frequently relies on natural gas as a fuel source. Rhonda Rockstra reporting.
The Biden administration planning to announce new tariffs on electric vehicles, semiconductors, solar equipment, and medical supplies imported from China. Those tariffs in electric vehicles in particular could quadruple from the existing 25% right up to 100%. More of these stories at townhall.com.
What in the wide, wide world of sports is going on here?
I promise you, whatever scum did this, not one man on this force will rest for 1 minute until he's behind bars. Now let's grab a bite to eat. Yeah, come on.
I feel the hot wind on my shoulder and the touch of a world that is older. I hit the switch and check the number. I leave it on and then I slumber. I hear the rhythm ringing through it. Flamenco guitar and cumbia music. I hear the talking of the DJ. The travel listen, what does he say? I'm on a Mexican radio. I'm on a Mexican world radio.
Broadcasting live from high atop the J.P. White Building in downtown Roswell, New Mexico. It's Mornings with Mike Winters on 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM.
Is that what I sound like when I talk?
Now, here's your host, Mike Winters.
And good morning. It is 6 minutes after 8 o'clock. Welcome to hour number 2.
The deuce.
Whoa. Up Mornings with Mike Winters right here on this most excellent Monday.
On a most excellent Monday. Well, it's just fun.
I need me some Bill and Ted. The world always needs good.
The world always needs a little Bill and Ted.
I don't care where I'm at, what kind of mood I'm in, what kind of day I'm having. You sit me down and pop the Bill and Ted movie in. 20 minutes later, I'm just living life and enjoying the world.
Just hanging out.
Yep, and they're all good. Even the most recent Bill and Ted I like. With the kids.
I still have not sat down and watched that one yet.
I saw it, I enjoyed it.
I have a real problem with watching movies in general, but also watching reboot movies. Like, I still haven't seen all the way through the Jay and Silent Bob new movie.
Oh.
I still haven't seen the new Bill and Ted.
Okay.
So, I mean, these are the ones I need to eventually,
I thought it was cute.
Sit down and cop a watch.
I enjoyed it.
I worry because those franchises hold such a place in my heart, and I just worry about it being a cash grab,
You know, I didn't feel that with the Bill and Ted movie at all. I felt like it was now, and let's face it, Bill and Ted's not Gone with the Wind. It's not, this isn't an epic cinematic masterpiece. That being said, if you liked the Bill and Ted and the humor and the way it rolled, the one with the kids and Bill and Ted, is in the same vein. It's the same, just like it.
Like, I understand that it's a well-worn and well-trusted trope. I wish that they could do a reboot story that wasn't just, hey, guess what? You have a kid you don't know about.
Right.
That's like the only story these reboot movies ever tell.
It's the easiest way to justify the story.
It is, but it's the same story.
Sure.
Daughter comes along, she hates dad, and slowly but surely they build a bond over his silliness.
This isn't like that.
Okay.
This isn't them reconnecting with their kids. They're the kids. The kids are them.
The kids are.
They are the same.
Fair enough. that I can appreciate as long as they pay
They
some
are slightly
homage.
they're female versions of basically of Bill and Ted in the most, but they're a little bit more couth, but not much.
But only slightly.
But anyway,
I'm going to check them out eventually. I have a problem.
I enjoyed it.
I get on YouTube and then I'll stay there. Like even when there's nothing to watch, I'll just start scroll. I do what other people do on Netflix, just on YouTube.
That's right. Well, and like the Unfrosted movie.
Mm-hmm.
After seeing it yesterday, there's a few things that made me laugh out. I remember before I was telling you I'm a little worried. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
I watched it. It was a hoot. It was funny. It's like Jerry Seinfeld's Willy Wonka.
I did see a clip of it was Snap, Crackle, and Pop, and I believe Crackle is Mikey Day.
Yeah,
from SNL.
Yes, it is.
Yeah. Then he was on. I want to say it was like Seth Meyers or something like that, and they showed that clip. And it does look like very like tongue in cheek, kind of like over the top look at what it was like when this thing was created.
Well, and it's just it's if you are familiar with Jerry Seinfeld's stand-up and how he delivers and how he tells a story and the angles from which his funny comes from, it's all of that. It is that, but in this, it's like a snarky Willy Wonka.
And I want to check it out because it's. I mean, it seems like it's one of those. Jerry Seinfeld, generally speaking, is a clean comedian. Yeah. He doesn't work blue. Yeah. So I feel like it's a family friendly movie. It's not something I would be embarrassed putting on with my kids. But I'm eventually going to watch it. I'm going to have to use somebody else's service to watch it because I still don't have Netflix. But
I enjoyed it. It was pretty good.
I'm holding out to get Netflix until they put Stranger Things back out, which I think is
that should be like
this fall. I believe.
Yeah, probably around Christmas time.
Yeah,
they usually do that
somewhere around theirs.
This is the last one, right?
I believe so, if not the next to last.
Okay.
Because those kids are in their 20s now.
Right. Yeah, it's kind of hard to call them kids when they're like adults.
Yes, sir. I know you saw it. I was hoping you.
Oh yes.
I was hoping you wouldn't see it until the
I didn't
the
catch
show.
it until this morning when I came in, but yes, I did see it.
Now, when you and I are sitting at our desk and we're just doodling, what usually happens is, honestly, with me, it's one of two things. It's either like my little character that I always draw, or like a little stylized question mark thing that I've always drawn. Most of the time, probably it's notes or scribbles or.
I was going to show you mine, but this
swirls.
doesn't really have it on there, so never mind.
So Greg sent me
Greg Birch,
Greg Birch, the artist whose work is all over our studios, sent me these doodles. He said he was sitting there waiting for paint to dry, and just was, I guess, either watching our show or had it paused. And he said, and he just off of the split screen.
Yeah.
James here, by the way. Off the split screen, he took those two images and he created these doodles of Mike and I. And I'm going to share them on the Facebook page.
Okay.
But these things are absolutely amazing.
Yeah, they look good.
It blew me away. I've never seen doodling like this. Mike's is the font, first of all, is straight up Metallica. Like he could get sued if this thing ever got released. But it's got Mornings with Mike Winters and Mike with what I can only describe as he looks like he was describing where he hid the bodies.
It does have a Walter White look to it.
It does have a Walter White look to it. Like it's dubious, but it's also like, and then with Roswell FM on the bottom. And then mine, I'm really going to have to start being a bigger fan of the Packers if this is going to be the representation of me, because this is one of the coolest. This is the coolest images of me I've ever seen in my entire life.
You got a Wolfman Jackie kind of.
It does. He got the goatee, and he got that I'm astringent about wearing my headphones all the time, the Packer hat, and in Packer colors, and then Sean Smalls. And by the way, with the S, I appreciate that, Greg. The S though in that font could easily be turned around into a Z, but I appreciate with the S, and then he has 92.9 on there. So these are Greg. Thank you so much for these. That's going to be my new profile picture.
They're very cool.
Yeah. It is very cool.
Put them up on the Facebook and all that.
Yeah, I'll share that on the 106.5.
Thank you, Greg. That was cool. Yeah, that was awesome. I saw it too, and I didn't. For some reason, he sent it yesterday, and I didn't see it on my Facebook and all that. I didn't see the notification, and I to be honest, I don't get heavy on Facebook on the weekends. I kind of stay away from it.
I want to take it to Business Notions and get it on a T-shirt. That's like I think that's how much I love that design.
You got to give Greg some money if you're going to do that.
Well, yeah, I'll have him sign the bottom. Honestly,
but yeah, it was very cool. I saw him too this morning. And I was like, oh dang, it's really good. So, but I didn't see it till this morning. So.
Yeah, I said things I cannot repeat on this radio station when I saw those. It blew me away.
You know what though? I got to mention this real quick because over the weekend in NFL circles, my Washington football team, my fandom of them. So they had rookie mini camp this weekend.
Okay.
I'm not sure if every NFL team did or certain ones did, but Washington had theirs this weekend. And this is the rookies that just got drafted and all that. They come in and basically they acclimate them to welcome to Commander football, and they learn them through drills and do all this stuff. But each day they coaches do a press conference to give their thoughts on the day and ask questions. The reporters get to ask questions, typical stuff. Well, new coach came on, Dan Quinn, and he was doing his interview, but he was wearing a shirt.
Well, I would hope.
Yes. That blew up Commanderdom Facebook and social media over the weekend.
Okay.
He didn't wear an NFL authorized licensed shirt.
He had one made?
Well, no, I'm guessing a fan sent him a shirt.
Okay.
And he just wore it. But it's the Washington Commanders. He's wearing a black T-shirt with the Washington Commanders logo with one slight modification.
Okay.
And that modification...
I'm actually pulling it up as when I can. Okay. Let me see.
That modification...
I see it right now. Yep.
Of the little feathers on the W.
That can be offensive. I understand.
No.
Oh.
Not offensive. It turned into the whole fan base. Are they going to start talking Redskins again? Is this like a little Easter egg nod to the Redskins? Are they going to start, this is the first sign they saw something from management addressing Redskins. And the DMV, the D.C., Maryland, Virginia area lost their ever-loving mind over this.
I'm actually looking at one of the stories now. It's a cool logo. I got to give it to him with the feathers. It's really cool.
But it is so created the hope in which people are thinking that the Redskins name is going to come back. And the owners have said it's not. And it got me thinking, if Redskins fans are serious about bringing back that name.
Yeah.
The only way I conceivably can see that happening is organic, and I'm going to say it's got to happen this way. The Commanders play at FedEx Field. It seats about 80,000 people. It hasn't been filled with Commanders fans in 100 years. When they fill it, it's usually filled with the other team's fans.
Sure.
It's just notoriously been bad. D.C. is a transient town. A lot of people that aren't from D.C. live in D.C., and so you get a lot of fans from other fan bases, particularly Steeler fans. But anyway, when the Redskins are good or Commanders, not the case. When they're good, it's filled with Commander fans.
Sure.
And everything else. So if this team's starting to get good, which it looks like they are, and all of that.
I mean, it always does in the offseason.
They're going to start filling that stadium back with actual fans of the home team, not the other team. If that happens, where they're selling out and there's more Commander fans in there, which I think will happen with this new ownership,
right?
It's easy. At the end of every single time that the Commanders score a touchdown, or in the case of the Redskins, they sang "Hail to the Redskins." It's a song. It's tradition. Every Redskins fan knows it. Hail the Redskins, hail victory, braves on the warpath, fight for old D.C. Since they are now the Commanders, they have a Commanders version. Hail to the Commander. It's basically the same song with a few word changes. Just don't sing that song. Sing Hail to the Redskins.
Don't sing it. Okay.
Hail to the Redskins. When you get 80,000 Redskin fans singing Hail to the Redskins every time the Commanders score a touchdown, that's going to turn heads. That's going to force people to address that.
It might. The only thing I can think of that's kind
It'll
of a
start
comparison.
The snowball effect.
The only thing I can think of that's kind of a comparison is the fact that you're hard pressed to find anybody outside of like straight Elon fanboys that call Twitter X. So I'm just saying, I don't know how much whining and complaining on one side it's going to take to get the management to go back on changing a team name that they went through 3 years of nonsense team names.
Well, and that's
to get
the thing.
Here.
The ownership group, they didn't pick this name. This is Dan Snyder. These people inherited this name. The man grew up a Redskins fan. He grew up in Maryland.
Okay.
He's a Redskins fan. He said, I love the name. I'm very proud of it, but we've lost it. It's gone. We're never changing it back.
Right.
The fan base needs to convince him. And I'm telling you, you don't tell me Washington's playing on Monday Night Football, they just score a touchdown, and 80,000 people are saying hail to the Redskins. That's not going to get some run on Twitter and all these other places.
It's definitely going to.
Enough of that happens, and it's going to snowball in the other things. They already have, quote-unquote, Native American groups all over Facebook saying, bring back the Redskins name. The people that were, quote-unquote, offending, by and large, are offended that we changed it.
Okay. I worry that it then becomes less about the team again, because for the longest time you talk about the Redskins, that's all anybody would talk about was the name.
Yeah.
It wasn't the plays, it wasn't the games, it wasn't.
It was when they're good,
right? Well,
when the Redskins in the '80s were good, yeah, they'd have like a six or eight people stand out there going, "Redskins, bad name," but everyone laugh at him and say, "Go have a hot dog,
yeah,
idiot." We didn't care. When they were winning Super Bowls, we weren't talking about the name. We're talking about all the other traditions, the hogs, the thing, all that organically happened because of that. All of that will happen again if the team is good.
Yeah.
Once the team gets good, which I think they're going to do, Redskins comes back on the table because the fan base is that strong enough to make people think about in that name. I feel it. I feel that because just seeing stuff like this, one little T-shirt of the coach that no one said nothing about nothing. He just wore it and put it out there, and it blew up the internet over the weekend.
Yeah, I mean,
I'm telling you, if they get something organized, they could change his name. I believe they could.
Okay, and now I argue though.
Yeah,
I didn't hear about this until 10 minutes ago.
Yeah.
So, I mean, is that big a deal?
It is to the people that care.
Okay.
To people that don't care, no, it's not like anything else. But in the D.C. area, there's two camps. I will never call them Commanders, and I prefer Redskins, but let it go. They're the Commanders now. That's the two camps. So I am in the latter,
sure,
for the most part, because it is what it is. The team's good, I'm happy. But that being said, if the team went back to Redskins, that would be a very cool thing, and I would be very happy about that.
And, sir, I wish you good luck in your battle.
Let me give you the rundown for this hour. Jim Tucker, patiently waiting in the other room, going to talk a little ham radio with us here in just a bit. Later on the hour, get you up to date with news of the local variety. Of course, we'll have our fair share of political ads and all that for you, too, as well. So that and whatever else we can come up with.
Yes, indeed.
And hail the Redskins. All right, 8:22. Here's your weather.
I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton with your Pecos Valley weather. We've got high pressure set up for a while, mid-80s on the afternoon high today, and we should have plenty of sunshine. The wind will stay fairly light. Mid-50s for the overnight hours under clear skies, and then we're in the low 90s for the afternoon high on Tuesday and sunny. A few clouds on Tuesday night. We'll have sunshine on Wednesday. Slim chance of a late-day shower or thunderstorm. I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton, and that's your latest forecast.
Thank you, Steve. Currently 65 degrees, and here in Roswell, humidity's at 34%. Winds are out of the north at 5 miles per hour. Sunny and 85 today. North winds 5 to 10 miles per hour. Pretty nice overall. Mostly clear tonight. 56 for an overnight low with south winds 5 to 10 miles per hour.
Sunny on you Tuesday, 92, back in the low 90s for Tuesday. Winds out of the northwest, 5 to 10 miles per hour. Wednesday, we're looking at mostly sunny skies and a high of 91. Northwest winds, 5 to 15 miles per hour. They're throwing a decent chance at rain at us on Thursday, a 40% chance at afternoon showers and thunderstorms, mostly sunny and 81. Thursday night, we're looking at a 20% chance of showers and thunderstorms. Sunny and 88 for your Friday, and then for the weekend, sunny and 94 Saturday, sunny and 97, pushing that century mark on Sunday. Ever so closer. All right, 8:24, we're going to take a 4-minute break, and then we'll talk with Jim Tucker and talk some ham radio, probably even a little Skywarn weather coordinating as well. Don't go away. You're listening to Mornings with Mike Winters.
You may be wondering why an Eastern New Mexico rancher wants to be part of our state Senate. The answer is simple. I want our conservative values heard in Santa Fe. My name is Pat Boone, and I'm running for New Mexico Senate District 27. This beautiful state is primarily rural land, and my family's been ranching here since 1884. I'll fight for your land rights, your parental rights, and your right to bear arms. I'd appreciate your Republican primary vote on June 4th.
Paid for by the committee to elect Pat Boone, Mark McKay, Treasurer.
Eastern New Mexico University is proud to announce our newest offering, a Master of Social Work degree. This 100% online, affordable master's degree has 3 concentrations: clinical, clinical military, and children, youth, and families. This online master's degree is perfect for the working professional, as you can earn your degree on your own time with our flexible online courses. For more information, visit www.enmu.edu/MSW. Eastern New Mexico University, student success. That's what we're about.
Mayday! 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 Attention Roswell and surrounding areas. Trade in and trade up to a new Ford or quality pre-owned vehicle for thousands less during May Trade Days at the all-new Roswell Ford. The all-new Roswell Ford has new management and a whole new attitude. And this week, any trade goes. Stuck in your loan or lease? Roswell Ford wants to get you released, even if you owe thousands more than your trade is worth, regardless of make or miles. Get huge savings on new Fords with rates as low as 0% for 66 months with no payments till July 4th. Plus, we have a great selection of low mileage, one-owner pre-owned vehicles, all in prime condition, starting at just $10,000. Don't settle for a low-quality, overpriced clunker. Buy a quality pre-owned vehicle from Roswell Ford for a lot less. Worried about your credit? Don't sweat it. We've partnered with the most aggressive lenders that will push to approve you today, even with bad or no credit. Lower prices, exceptional trade-in values, and a better buying experience. Get on board at Roswell Ford, 821 North Main Street in beautiful Roswell, or online at roswellford.com. 1515 per thousand financed on select models with approved credit.
Ever had someone do something kind and out of the ordinary for you? How did that make you feel? I know for me, it brightens my day. Hi, this is Pastor Troy and Julie Smotherman for the Joy of Marriage.
Galatians 6:9 says, "Let us not get tired of doing what's right, for after a while we will reap a harvest of blessing if we don't get discouraged and give up." I've learned when you don't know what to do, just do the next right thing. Keep sowing good things into your spouse and your family. Be patient. God promises He will give you a harvest. It will make a difference. A successful farmer just keeps on working and expects to have a great harvest.
I know when my husband brings me flowers, it blesses me. So do something unexpected for your spouse. It will pay off.
If you have any questions or would like further information about the Joy of Marriage Ministry, please go to jomconference.com.
Senator Greg Nybert is known as a conservative Republican who is effectively fighting for us in Santa Fe. In the last session, Greg Nybert helped stop harmful legislation that would penalize New Mexico businesses with outrageously expensive financial burdens. He knows small businesses do not need more regulation. Greg Nybert helped defeat progressive attempts to make it illegal for New Mexicans to own certain types of firearms and firearm accessories. He knows it's important to protect our rights. During his legislative career, Greg has been responsible for stopping numerous anti-oil and gas bills. He knows it is important to protect our jobs. Senator Greg Nybert is the only candidate for District 27 who has a proven record of protecting us from big government intrusion. Greg Nybert stands for the rights of the people and pledges to continue his work. Please vote for Greg Nybert for Senate District 27.
Paid for by Greg Nybert for State Senate.
Here's a Mornings with Mike Winters fun fact. Astronauts are not allowed to eat beans before they go into space because passing wind in a spacesuit damages them. The suits or the astronauts? Here's Mike Winters.
And good morning. It is 8:28, and joining us in studio this morning, wearing his Pecos Valley Amateur Radio Club hat here today, Jim Tucker back with us. Morning, Jim.
Morning, Mike. How are you doing?
Doing great. How about yourself? Of course, you know, he's always willing to talk weather, too. So I got a few weather questions.
Oh,
I'll
yes.
hit him with that.
I have a couple weather stories after last week.
So we had some weather, and we got teased with some weather that I don't think we got all the weather we were thinking we were going to get this weekend. But
well, no, but this one storm just popped up out of southeast Lincoln County, and it was heading like toward Roswell, and they warned for an area up to almost to Roswell, but not quite. And then it spun up so tight, and we were watching it, and that it started to be a right mover. And when you see them start to turn right, you know they're intense.
Okay.
And there was I know there was confirmed reports of golf ball size hail. I talked to a motorist out on 285.
Okay, because I knew there was severe weather, but it seemed like we kind of skirted most of that. And
most
of
it
Texas
we did.
Getting hammered, but it looks like it was kind of not spinning up hard enough yet by the time, while I was going through our part of the country here.
Yeah,
So.
they usually, kind of start out over here and then get...
Sucks when you don't have any water. It's kind of hard for storms to get strength when there's no water around.
Well, see, I didn't know how long it was or how long that storm was going to hold together because it was kicking up about 60 dBs. I mean, it was intense and had a 3.25 inch hail indicator, so I don't want any part of that.
Yeah.
But it was heading right for US 285 and Hagerman, Lake Arthur, and all that. And I thought, well, there's not going to be enough food in the atmosphere to keep it going. It's just going to peter out. But by the time I got off work and Wendell Malone was coming up from Carlsbad, and we kind of got...
He's at the Eddy County Sky Warning Coordinator.
Yes. And so we kind of both got eyes on the thing. But after the fact, and there were a couple times, and I've got video, where it was just... And then my wife brought it to my attention later. She says, which way was that storm moving? I said, well, it's moving across the highway from west to east, from left to right on the video. But she noticed that and it was pretty stiff wind. The wind was moving from the east to the west. So it was inflow. And I confirmed that with the weather service. It was about a 30-mile-an-hour plus inflow wind. So it was pretty intense. And so anyway, long story short, after the thing moved on, I went on in behind it to see what had dropped. The fields along there between Lake Arthur and Hagerman were flooded.
Wow.
Bar ditches were flooded. I mean, it was a lot of water. So, somebody got some water, but it wasn't us here in Roswell.
Right. It happened a lot just in one spot and one here. So.
Exactly.
But, you know what, though? I'm thankful everyone made through it pretty much okay. Because I've seen, the other side where we have gotten hit with the flooding. And we know, we all know, especially the south end of town, you get an inch or two of rain at one time, it turns that whole place into a quagmire.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
It is what it is. It's just that's the
life
way
in the desert.
Yeah. But we, knock on wood, skirted some of that this weekend here. But of course, one of your other passions here, when you're not turning your eyes to the sky here, is ham radio, which they do work in concert with each other. As far as the ham radio, which, to be honest, the thing that's about ham radio is it's in the form of radio communication. Its roots are in the lowest forms of technology, but in the spectrum of the big thing, when all else fails, it's the only thing that's going to be there when the internet's and the rest of the world goes down. When the power goes out, ham radio will still be, still be there.
Sure, because it's just, everything depends on some kind of a backbone, be it internet, like you just said, and when those systems get clogged up to the point where they're just inoperable, or it could be a massive EMP, I mean anything, or part of the electric grid, well, you name it. But if any or part of that system goes down, we've become so reliable or so dependent upon it that like you said, there's just, what do you do? I mean, I think a loss of communication is one thing that will panic people more sometimes than a loss of food. I mean, you can always find something to eat, but if your communications go down, that little phone in your pocket goes away.
That's victory and defeat. That's the difference between a lot of times.
Yeah, you can't get in. And most people get all their information over the internet anymore, and it's just, but it's a pretty robust system, but I don't think anything's too big to fail. I mean,
sure. It's, but put it this way, and this is, and since we live and work and have our lives in a rural part of the country. Let's face it, even our biggest cities is Albuquerque. It's not, we live and quite frankly, you get in the mountains down here in the south, up north, doesn't matter, throughout New Mexico. We live in those places where if you get lost, it could be days or a week before someone finds you. There's not many places in the country left that's still a thing. But where we are is definitely one of those things. So something like ham radio is not just a fun hobby on the weekends around here. It's a needed way of life. We need to have folks like Jim and the other amateur radio, Pecos Valley amateur radio members, because sure, when there's nothing going on, it's fun. We're tinkering, we're working in the, volunteering at events. Like anytime there's 5Ks and pretty much a fun run or anything, usually there's some ham guys out there just keeping communication links open in the middle of nowhere parts of those events and type things. And for the very instance, in case someone falls or gets hurt, it's a run, someone's about to scrape a knee or trip over a log or something that happens.
Sure.
So ham is that thing, but now more than ever in a place like this, that's the way to, at some point that's going to come into play here. And so it's great to have our amateur radio folks, which are always looking for more folks to come be a part.
Sure.
These are the folks that are gonna, when times get tough, weather goes down, these are going to be the ones that are keeping people connected and giving information to people.
Well, that's it. And like you said too, it's a lot of it's the hobby of it. I mean, that's usually what brings most people in, and there's just a plethora of different ways if you want. Of course, you have to test. You study and you test through. We have 3 tiers of testing in amateur radio. The first one, or the entry level, you might say, is the technician class.
Gotcha.
And then the next one will be the general class. And the general class will get you on a lot more frequencies and bands in the HF range.
Okay.
Okay, and then your advanced, is advanced or extra? I think it's extra now. They've changed it, but there's only 3. Anyway, that extra, that highest level, is really pretty geeky. You got to really pretty much, and it only gives you...
got to be a big fan and be really into it to embrace it.
It's pretty intense, and it gives you a little more frequency privileges on HF, but it's,
Gotcha.
And that's what most people do. And now, if you say, well, I don't want to get into all the testing right now and the studying, and I have a hard time, whatever kind of thing, you can get in GMRS. GMRS is a growing thing.
Okay.
And that is those licenses. They took they raised the ham radio license to 35 and brought the GMRS license down to 35.
Gotcha.
And if you get a GMRS license, that's good for you and your whole household.
Okay.
Okay.
So you're going to teach your kids and things and get them on. They're kind of under your blanket license there.
Exactly.
Very
and
cool.
It's, we've got about 4 repeaters that are accessible in the Roswell area now. And one of them is got a pretty good footprint. It's down in Maljamar, and it'll cover Hobbs, Tatum, Roswell, this whole area. Excuse me. But anyway, GMRS is a good way to get started. You don't have to pass a test or anything. You just submit your submit your application for the license. But you can use if you got some Baofeng radios laying around, or you want to order a Baofeng, that's one brand. That's the go-to that everybody likes because it's just cheap. You can get a radio with a charger and a programming cable and all that for like $35.
And that's something we've talked about in the past, where this is one of those sports that, or hobbies, or activities that you can get in cheap or you can get in expensive. It just really is up to you on that.
It's just how much you want to spend.
But to kind of get the foot in the door, to do the monitoring stuff, it's not like back in the old days, like a lot of us probably think of ham radio and they think of like some of those TV shows from the 80s where there's a guy in the basement with the desk and the big, huge antenna on the house and all this other stuff. And technology has changed. You can go that route and get more advanced. And, guys like Jim and some others, yes, they have the big antenna on their house and they're doing because that's. But if you're not ready to go all that, you can literally get like when he said the monitor units and basically like a scanner, very similar to like you monitor police and fire and rescue and all that. And, you can get in for as little as what the cost of one of those are. Mm-hmm. And they're not thousands of dollars, and they're so, maybe start there. If you do get bit with the bug and everything else, then you probably go in advance as you get more into it. But it's not an expensive hobby to start if you're wanting to get into it. It's as expensive as you want it to be. If you want to go gung-ho, dive in both feet, yeah, you can spend a lot of money on this thing.
That's it. And realistically, when you if you get something like a Baofeng, or even the radio I'm holding here is an Anytone. It's an Anytone 868. It's digital DMR as well as analog dual band. And so it'll do, it's just a little bit of an upgrade from, like, say, a Baofeng or something. But what you can do if you go buy a Baofeng, you're going to have certain limitations, and your opportunities are going to expand. The more money you spend, the more license, so forth you get. But this one here will talk radio to radio in the area on Simplex.
Okay.
That's the same frequency, radio to radio, no problem there. But we've also got repeaters, so you can get on these repeaters. As long as you're able to hit the repeater, now you can go and you can talk to anybody else. That can
Now
hit
you're
the
free
repeater.
to move about the world.
Yeah, well, that's it, because DMR does just that. DMR is only one of about three digital formats in amateur radio that that use the internet as a platform. So instead of going on to a channel per se, you do still go onto a frequency and access a repeater.
Sure.
But once you access that repeater, now you choose talk groups, and those are just, there's tons of them worldwide, nationwide.
Yeah,
you can
it's
talk
a real
anybody in the
chance to
world.
learn about people of the world.
It is.
And you're really having conversations with people just like you, except for they're sitting in Ireland or Australia or Asia, wherever. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, and then we've got a lot of the purists that say kind of diss the DMR and the amateur or the digital based communications, because that's not
like
ham
cheating.
radio. It's like cheating. And
I imagine it's just like in the barbecue world, if you're using pellets instead of like grilled wood, and then you're cheating, or electric grill,
something like that.
Yeah,
you
same
name
kind
it.
of logic.
Yeah, but it is still fun for me to get on the HF radio and be able to contact people across the country. I've never contacted anybody overseas, I don't guess, except for Hawaii, but that's just because I haven't tried, and I don't have a huge antenna station. But anyway, point is, I can talk to people across the country and check into what we call nets and stuff, and that's a lot of fun. And then I do a thing called WinLink, which is a brand name for another form of digital communication over HF or VHF too, but I do it over HF. And what I can do there is I join nets, and certain times of the day when I send test messages to either directly to other stations, if I know they're going to be on and we coordinate on the same frequency and all that, or I can go to a server.
Okay.
And I can send formatted messages and emails.
Okay.
And so without the internet, I don't even need the internet.
Gotcha.
And I can send those emails directly to another station, and that's really a helpful thing if we were to really have a regional calamity down here.
Gotcha.
And where we need to get messages out, and we could get to different,
I'm just curious, does ham use any of the technologies that, like radio, because you have familiarity in our side of radio too here, with the emergency alert system for folks that, you don't know, you hear the tones and everything, and how that works in radio and TV is it's kind of a daisy chain. Basically, one entity puts that out and it sends it to the next media group, who sends it to the next media group. Is there anything in the ham world that works like that? That's kind of a daisy chain method to get information out, or it's like you said, like we use repeaters to get to people. Is there something in that world, if they're sending a message, where it like we use the repeaters to bounce to get those messages, like very similar to emergency alert system?
Sure. Well, going back to the to kind of more the analog thing, I used to do this, was kind of fun. It's called packet radio.
Okay.
And it's used a standard AX. I forget what the standard code is, but anyway, it's digital communication. You type your message in on a keyboard and hit enter, and it goes through a modulator that activates a radio.
Okay.
That radio would fire a digipeater, we call them, at a particular location. I used to do this, to activate a repeater up on Buck.
Okay.
And then if I put in there was a string you put in there for the path where you wanted it to go. So if I wanted to go to Albuquerque, I'd have to go to Buck, and then maybe to another repeater up by Corona or somewhere, and then finally to Albuquerque, because it's all line of sight communication.
Gotcha.
So I could do that, and it was a little timely. It took time, but it would do the same thing. Now, fast forward to today with digital, I can send text messages on this through a repeater, and as well as voice, of course.
Sure.
But you can send all that through a repeater, and it'll go wherever I want it to around the world. So yeah, it's now as far as the notifications, nothing really comes to mind now on a massive notification system. But we could do it.
But it kind of works the same way, and I imagine But and this is kind of to my point. Even though it, in the ham world, it's using the latest technology to do what it does, but when all else fails, it still has the tried and true method, and that's where I think, and that's because let's just face it, if the world goes to pot, the way we're going to be communicating with each other is probably through ham. That's just
some kind of radio, yeah.
Just the facts here.
Yeah,
and so it's important to know this kind of stuff.
Well, it is, and it's funny because you mentioned DAS, and what will happen occasionally is we'll get an entity notify us. Usually comes through our coordinator, our emergency manager up in Albuquerque for Aries, but they'll send a message to us, and on a certain day, you'll have a nationwide EAS test go out, and like you said, broadcast stations are required to forward this
and pass
and so
it down
forth.
the chain, so to speak. Yeah.
So what they'll ask us to do in an area like this, especially where we have a lot of stations, both television and radio, and a bunch of different means, like you got your translators for the radio, you've got the several different ways digitally and analog of getting that radio out over the air. So they'll ask us to monitor the stations at a certain time frame and make sure those stations sent out the tone, because if they didn't, they want to know about it.
Sure.
So we're kind of
because it messes up the whole sequence.
Well, it does.
That's why. It's funny. We had, matter of fact, last week, they sent out a EAS on Tuesday, I believe. Well, it didn't go out right. It didn't something, and if you remember, the next day around the same time, we had another one.
Okay.
It was because there were some issues on that first one, and the test failed. And so they reissued the test the next day here. And I don't know very often, but it happened last week. Weirdly enough.
Oh, and I've got another that's along those lines. Another important note, too, is if you depend on weather radio, NOAA weather radio, it's important to know, especially if you've got a radio that's been sitting there on the local frequency for a long time and I haven't heard anything out of that recently. Well, the Roswell transmitter's down.
Okay,
and I think the Artesia and Carlsbad ones are too.
That's not good.
No, let's talk Roswell for sure right now.
Yeah.
Roswell's definitely down. Emergency management and the different entities are working on resolving that.
Sure.
But in the meantime, Rio Doso and WXJ38, I think, whatever, but they're on 162.55. So
Okay.
find Rio Doso. They're a little hard to pick up on an in-home. You may have to set your antenna near the window or something, but get a good signal. But they are handling all of the Roswell area's alerts and forecasts.
They're handling
and
the
stuff.
overload until they get the frequencies back.
Exactly. So
Gotcha.
Roswell's typically Roswell's on 162.45.
Gotcha.
So that station's not there. So 162.55 out of Rio Doso.
Interesting. So, which it's obviously they get it up, but that this is, especially when it comes to the severe weather, this is how that information gets out to people.
Well, it is, and then we've got we're a little bit radar challenged in this area
Yes,
too.
we
so
are.
when Cannon goes down,
we got a lot of blind spots.
Yeah. But that being said, I mean, just not to get too far off on that rabbit trail, but that's why storm spotting, ground truth observations are so important.
That's right.
To the Weather Service.
Full circle coming back here. You don't know the difference between, because they'll have those reports, but they're missing some good, some vital information in between there. And guess where they fill that with? Those Skywarn spotter reports and everything else. When you call in and seeing that cloud movement or that hail or that wind or that rainfall, that's telling those guys, okay, it's basically following the path. They're just saying, okay, that syncs up with how we're seeing how the storm's tracking. That's good information. That's keeping the path where we're going. Oh, that indicates it might be turning on us. Let's go. That's how they rely. They're getting those, and sure, not one person's report is not going to shift them over. But when you get a bunch of people saying the same thing to them, then they're like, oh, okay, look, all these people over here reporting the same thing. That means that's what's going on.
Well, yeah, and oftentimes, depending on the situation, I mean, if you're a trained spotter particularly, and you call in a particular report and you're doing it, you're giving them accurate good information, they'll oftentimes
Sure.
issue on that because
That's why we recommend you come to the classes on the next time. We just had some here,
Yeah.
but we'll be doing it
Do
again
that
before you
again.
know it, and we'll get some folks in here. But real quick, let's get some people to your next Pecos Valley Amateur Radio meeting.
Yes, absolutely. Well, we do have a monthly business meetings, and it's the first Saturday of every month.
Okay.
Okay. They're at 9:00 in the morning. The general public is invited. Anybody can come down and just sit in and see what we do, meet some people. That's probably one of the best ways. We talked about education and learning.
Yeah.
One of the best ways is just come down, and somebody's always got a radio, and we're always talking radio and
And
guns
quite
and everything
frankly,
else.
every person that's in the amateur radio club loves talking radio and loves showing off the toys and love playing with it. So if you come in there with a curiosity or a passion to want to learn it, you'll find a bevy of people that would love to tell you about it.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Because they're proud of it, they're passionate about it, and they want you to be have that excitement about it too.
Sure, and once you get your license, a lot of them will even just loan or give you a little radio. They're just we keep a few of those.
Yeah,
around,
imagine
so.
it's a very community where you're like, no, let's get them set up and get them, because I want people, because like you said, you want, and quite frankly, you might save a life one day. Just
sure.
Not, while you're having fun with your family and,
Never
playing
know.
with the
Never know.
grandkids or whatever, something might come across and you get in a situation where you just saved someone's life. And that's the cool part.
And I always say it's one of the original social networks. So, if you just like meeting new people and stuff like that as well, but it's a great source for that. But yeah, the monthly meetings are Saturday at 9:00, and they're at the Adult Center.
All right.
They're at Missouri and 8th.
Yeah, it's there. And by the way, they're full open back again. The Adult Center. They, I know with COVID they kind of scale back activity. Not now. They got go to the city's website. There's literally a calendar with like 20 things each day that's happening at the Adult Center.
Brand new pickleball courts out there too. I noticed. So we're right behind the pickleball courts.
Very good. So after ham radio, they go pickleballing.
Yeah, yeah, sure. We'll go with that. But and then every Saturday morning, actually, at 9:00, unless we've got an event we're working on, every Saturday morning at 9, the doors are open. Come on down for coffee. Just same thing. BS, talk about radio and what have you. It's just the business meeting is on.
Ask questions
for
about
Saturday.
what the equipment. A bunch of people love to share that knowledge with you.
Yeah, and then also, if you are, we just finished our Alien City Ham Fest again Saturday. And
It's not about pork, it's ham radio.
Yeah, you're right.
Like, I love ham.
Yeah. I'll tell you the story about how the ham term came about here in a minute if you want to know. But,
sure.
Yeah. But anyway, the VE testing, the next VE testing session, if you want to get on studying, you've got time if you're a good studier and you want to jump on, or you've been studying.
Gotcha.
Okay, June the 8th.
Okay, so you got a little less than a month here to get that done.
Yeah, that's the next VE testing session. We do one about once a quarter.
Okay.
And it's like, I don't know, you can get on our website and contact, or you can call me. I'll give you my number here in a minute to get more details, but it's like $15 to take the test. And you just bring 2 forms of ID. One of them's got to be government issued, I think. And I forget all those details. But you can call. I can put you in the right direction for all those details.
Come to the next amateur radio meeting. We'll get you all set up with everything you need for that.
Sure. And, of course, then field day is the biggie coming up, too, the June 22nd, 23rd.
Oh, yeah.
We can.
You guys have a lot of fun doing that.
Yeah, it's always fun. We just go out and set stuff up and talk radio and have, it's like kind of a little contest.
It's just doing what you do with the fun part of what you do here.
Exactly, yeah.
But come, and of course, you guys have Facebook and all that. So if you go to the Pecos Valley Amateur Radio Club on Facebook, shoot a message through there and someone will get back.
Yeah, someone will do that. Or we've actually got a website separate from there. It's Pecos Valley ARC.com.
.com. And if you don't remember that, you can Google Pecos Valley Amateur Radio or Roswell Amateur Radio, something like that. It should probably pop right up in your Google search right at the top there.
Yeah, we've got some stuff
Yahoo
there.
or whatever your search engine you prefer is, Firefox or whatever it is.
Yeah.
So. And then of course, while you're there and you want to have questions about Skywarm weather, Jim will be happy to get you that information too here. And come, like, if you just want to learn this, come to the next meeting. Come there, bring your kids or whatever, and just absorb. Come and listen, talk with the guys, have a cup of coffee with them, and shoot the bull a little bit about the and they'll be happy. I guarantee if your passion will probably be flamed and you're ready to buy your first piece of equipment towards your hobby here. So
we've got an HF radio set up down there, and we've got a 2-meter and D-Star. So we can just show you, and actually we can let you operate too if you want to talk. You can do as long as you're the control operator and you're responsible for the station, you can let someone else operate.
Kind of like if you're a pilot and you're training someone, you can let the other guy handle the stick there if you're in control.
Definitely come on down and check it out. It's
absolutely
it doesn't cost you anything, nothing to lose, just a little.
I think it's a lot of fun. I think and it's the internet before the internet, like you said before here. It really is. It's social media before it is, and if you're trying to bring your children into a place that you expose them to other cultures of the world and seeing how the other side lives and how things. This is so great because you get to have those conversations. And once you get in, and next thing you know, we talk about the emergency and the service side, which is all important, but some of it too is you got a pen pal on a Saturday nights. Now you're talking with someone that could be thousands of miles away.
Sure.
That's so cool.
It is, or you're just a techie kind of person. Maybe you like programming. Maybe you like taking things apart and making them work. And maybe you've got an electronics, aptitude or background, and you just want to,
absolutely,
because we interface radios with computers now. I just read an article in the latest magazine about the AI coming in to part of being. So I mean, you can just any way you want to go with this thing.
It's just yes, it is. It is arguably the lowest form of electronic communications, but it's staying cutting edge with the most state-of-the-art ways to do it at the same time. So it's really a true fusion of old technology with new technology.
Yeah.
And that's the beauty of ham radio is you have a foot in both worlds.
Exactly. So,
good deal. Did we get it all?
I think I was trying to think about any events coming up. We covered ham radio or field day, and we covered the like I say, every Saturday morning, 9 o'clock.
We'll need to get you next month
there.
as we get close to field day and all that.
Okay.
Kind of invite people in and remind folks to come be a part.
Yeah, because we'll be out.
See them in action a little bit.
Yeah, I'm sure most of us will be out at Mescalero Sands again this year. That we're out there the last couple of years, and that was quite a success. I mean, it's a nice place. You just set up, and you just.
Imagine the views are pretty good too.
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
A good place to see New Mexico.
Yeah.
See the beauty of New Mexico.
Definitely.
And try to talk with the world.
That's right.
Excellent. Well, thank you, Jim, as always.
Well, thanks for having me on here.
Anytime, and we'll see you here next time. And thank you for all you do, because I know a lot of Jim's involved with a lot of things in our community and stuff, and behind the scenes through his ham radio or through his other thing. We do. We appreciate.
Try to be.
That's the thing. When you guys are out there running your 5Ks, you know what? There's those ham guys out in the middle of the desert out there watching, keeping an eye out for you, and just making sure that if you have an issue out there, someone's there to take care of you before it gets to be a real problem.
Right. And then we work with search and rescue also. Jeff's got search and rescue. They're out there.
You get those people lost in the mountains and up and but your cell's not working? Oh, guess what is? Ham radio.
Right. We can make it happen.
Excellent. Well, thank you as always, Jim.
Thank you, Mike. Appreciate it.
Anytime. 9:57. Let's take a quick break before they kick us off for news. Don't go away.
Believe it or not, your home insurance company isn't evil. Jennifer from Trustmark Roofing here. A lot of roofers make your insurance company out to be your enemy. They'll talk about fighting and battling your insurance to get you the claim you deserve. But honestly, your insurance company is a group of people just like you and me. That's why we don't treat your roof insurance claim like we're going to war. We treat it like a court case. We provide your insurance company every piece of evidence needed to get you the highest possible claim. We submit photos, videos, detailed documents, and line-by-line estimates. And guess what? Our non-combat approach works. On 92% of roof insurance claims, we get the highest amount the first time. And the rare times we don't, well then, that's when we go to bat for you. Call today for your 20% off coupon for our spring roof and gutter maintenance service. 575-755-ROOF or visit TrustmarkRoofPros.com.
Trustmark Roofing, we put people first.
Our values are under attack in Santa Fe.
We can and must protect those values, and that is why I stepped forward when Roswell needed leadership in the State House. The governor and her liberal friends attacked the Second Amendment, our education system, and the oil and gas industry, and have failed to protect us or our border. It is time we show Santa Fe that Southeast New Mexicans will not take it anymore. This is Jared Hembry, and I am humbly asking for your vote on or before June 4th so I can continue to fight for the New Mexico we know.
Paid for by Jared Hembry for State Representative.
It's time for the Chaves County Sports Report. It was the opening of the state baseball and softball tournaments over the weekend for the big schools, at least, and the Goddard Rockets held up their number 1 seed in Class 4A in baseball by defeating Kirtland Central on Friday by a score of 13-0. In that game, Andrew Baca was 2 for 3 with 2 doubles and 3 RBIs. He's a senior for the Rockets. And then on the second game on Friday, Goddard defeats Kirtland by a score of 10-0 to move to 22-6 on the season. In that game, Ryan also 4 for 4 with a home run. Goddard will take on number 9 Bloomfield at 9:30 on Thursday as the state tournament continues up in Albuquerque. Now, tomorrow we'll talk a little bit about some softball going on. Goddard was in the state playoffs too, and we'll talk about everything else too. The Sports Report brought to you by DSI. Call DSI for all your office technology needs. I'm Eric Butler at Roswell's Talk FM 106.5.
Here's a Mornings with Mike Winters fun fact.
Back on his threat to stop sending certain weapons to Israel if it invades the city of Rafah, where the Hamas terrorist group continues to hold civilians as human shields. Here's White House correspondent Greg Cluxton.
The president's ultimatum was not well received by Israel, including from former ambassador to the United States, Dr. Michael Oren.
Potentially disastrous, extremely dangerous, unfair.
But at the White House, National Security spokesman John Kirby insisted on continued support from the U.S.
The arguments that somehow we're walking away from Israel fly in the face of the facts.
Meanwhile, more than 24 House Democrats sent the White House a letter criticizing the Biden administration's withholding of weapons shipments to Israel. Greg Clugston, Washington.
Israel's leaders commemorated Memorial Day today, a usually somber holiday that this year was almost entirely absorbed by the ongoing war in Gaza. Senator Lindsey Graham criticizing President Biden for threatening to withhold the weapons.
To abandon Israel under these circumstances would be outrageous.
Graham appearing on NBC's Meet the Press. Karen Chamis reports a weekend brought devastating floods to parts of Afghanistan.
Flash floods in northern Afghanistan have left hundreds dead and hundreds more missing. The UN Food Agency has estimated that unusually heavy seasonal rains in Afghanistan have left more than 300 people dead. Thousands of houses have been destroyed, most of them in the northern provinces of Baghlan, which bore the brunt of the deluges. The floods hit as Afghanistan is still reeling from a string of earthquakes at the beginning of the year, as well as severe flooding in March. Aid group Save the Children said about 600,000 people, half of them children, live in the 5 districts in Baghlan that have been severely impacted by the floods. I'm Karen Chamas.
More of these stories at townhall.com.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm.
Are you a victim of the timeshare trap and think there's no way out? I'm Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group, the original timeshare cancellation expert. And I'm here to tell you that there is a way out. We've helped over 30,000 families out of financial hardship by getting them out of bad timeshares. If your timeshare agreement goes on forever, if you were told timeshares are a great investment, or your maintenance fees will never go up, you have questions, we have the answers. At Wesley Financial Group, we're dedicated to helping timeshare owners get out of their financial nightmare. All you need to do is give my office a call. I will send you a timeshare exit information kit absolutely free, explaining how the timeshare industry works and your options for cancellation.
Call now for your free timeshare.
Everybody wants cheap airfare, but where do you find it? You call low-cost airlines. Their prices are direct from the airlines, and they're so low you can't find these fares published anywhere. They specialize in cheap flights, discount hotel rooms, cheap car rental rates, and great package deals anywhere around the world. Wherever you want to go, they can help you get there cheaply and with a best price guarantee. If you want the lowest prices on your airline tickets or other travel services, call now. That's right, call. That's the only way to get these rates. Experts are standing by 24/7 to get you the cheapest airfare and hotel rates available. So don't wait. Call right now for the lowest travel prices anywhere and for great last-minute travel deals too.
Call 866-755-5300. That's 866-755-5300. Again, that's 866-755-5300. Call us right now.
They're not paying legislators to write them into their bills. I'm Julie Walker.
Breaking news and analysis at townhall.com. A group of Second World War soldiers who died shortly before Japan's official surrender have finally been awarded Purple Heart medals. We get more of that from correspondent Lisa Dwyer.
The families of 5 Hawaii men who served in a unit of Japanese language linguists during World War II have now received posthumous Purple Heart medals on behalf of their loved ones nearly 8 decades after the soldiers died in a plane crash in the final days of the conflict. They were among 31 men killed when their C-46 transport plane hit a cliff while attempting to land in Okinawa, Japan on August 13, 1945. Army records indicate only 2 of the 31 ever received Purple Heart medals, which the military awards to those wounded or killed during action against an enemy. I'm Lisa Dwyer.
You'll find more of these stories at townhall.com.
What in the wide, wide world of sports is going on here?
I promise you, whatever scum did this, not one man on this force will rest for 1 minute until he's behind bars. Now let's grab a bite to eat. Yeah, come on.
I feel the hot wind on my shoulder and the touch of a world that is older. I hit the switch and check the number. I leave it on and then I slumber. I hear the rhythm ringing through it. Flamenco guitar and cumbia music. I hear the talking of the DJ. The travel listen, what does he say? I'm on a Mexican radio. I'm on a Mexican radio.
Broadcasting live from high atop the J.P. White Building in downtown Roswell, New Mexico. It's Mornings with Mike Winters on 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM.
Is that what I sound like when I talk?
Now, here's your host, Mike Winters.
And good morning. It is 6 minutes after 9 o'clock. Welcome to hour number 3.
Tracy Piernos.
Of Mornings with Mike Winters, right here on 106.5 at Roswell's Talk FM. Happy Monday, everybody.
Indeed.
By the way, those doodlings, I guess you could say, or the photos, or not photos, drawings that artist Greg Birch did with us are now on our Facebook page. You can check them out.
Yes.
I just saw them a second ago. Greg did put a caveat. He goes, by the way, that Metallica's not copyright. It's just a font.
That's what I assumed. I kind of assumed it was just like that. That's like the style.
Now, if you do that font in the form of Metallica and write Metallica, then I believe that is pretty good. But, just making points.
Now, if you write like metallic adjacent, all one word, would that count in that font?
I think you put No, it's not Metallica.
It's metallic adjacent.
Yeah.
That's right. Tribute band.
Right. It's like the big game.
Workarounds. Gotta love them.
Absolutely. But yeah, they are up there.
Yes.
Check out.
Go check them out for yourself. Take a look at them.
They're pretty cool.
Give them a like.
They're way cooler than the actual people that they are portraying.
As Larry David would say, they're pretty cool.
Pretty cool.
So, did you see the Northern Lights this weekend?
I did not.
You didn't?
No. Not
in person, me either. But did you see any of the pictures?
Oh, I saw some of the pictures.
Some of the stuff, the stuff people were posting. Apparently, and I'm just now reading this. A lot of places they weren't visible to the naked eye.
Yeah.
But with your phone in night mode or whatever, you could actually see them. So people were using their phones to watch to see the glow of the
one time
lights.
that actually worked.
I know. Most of the time, literally every time I try to take a picture of the moon, all it gets is just like a shiny dot.
Yeah.
I am so infuriated with people who can take like pictures and you can see the surface of the moon and there's like a guy waving up there. It's like I take it's just literally a shiny yellow dot whenever I try to. Even if I zoom in, then it's just a big shiny yellow dot.
Yeah.
It's like my phone has an astigmatism.
Well, part of the problem is you and I are both blind.
Yeah.
And so
but
we
my
can't.
phone sees like I do. I get that starburst thing, you know?
But you're seeing through the phone, but you're still seeing poorly. It's just we're not photographers.
Mhm.
We're just not those people.
Yeah,
we
that's
don't
it.
have an eye for it.
But man, some of the ones I've seen, I mean, absolutely gorgeous. It looked like the entirety of the night sky over North America was just tripping on Saturday night.
Prettiest things
Or Friday night.
in the existence. Anything is all Mother Nature. No artist on the planet can recreate
I
Mother
know.
Nature.
I mean, Greg's pretty good.
They're great and they try, but Mother Nature's got a better paintbrush. Just does.
It's true.
That's
That
just
is
the truth.
That is true. But yeah, some of those images were absolutely gorgeous. And,
Yeah.
You know, watching the dance around of it all, that was just really good. And I think I didn't see the phenomena of it, but I think this is like the one time this is going to happen in 200 years.
Yeah.
Something like that. So
I don't know. I keep hearing that stuff all the time. I was like,
and
I've seen a lot of things like that. That's once in a lifetime, but I've seen a lot of them in my time. And I'm like, are we sure about it's once in a lifetime?
I thought about that over the weekend, that exact thought.
Yeah.
Where I'm like, we've had a lot of these. It's not going to happen again for another. But then I'm like, but how many phenomena of the universe are there?
Yeah.
I mean, there's billions.
Yeah.
So obviously, at any given point in time, you could experience something you won't experience for 200-300 years.
It's true.
And like, if you set your standards low enough, you can experience that on an almost daily basis. The other day was a palindrome.
I will never flush this toilet the same way again.
The other day was a palindrome.
Uh-huh.
I noticed when I wrote it down I think it was 4/24, the 24th of April, maybe.
Okay.
4242. I can't remember exactly, but one of those was a palindrome day. And I was just filling out a bunch of paperwork. It was the day I enrolled Hunter.
I think it is 4/24/24.
It was the day I enrolled Hunter at elementary school. Because I noticed I was like at the end of signing all these papers, and I'm
enrolled Hunter, not rolled Hunter.
And when I enrolled Hunter, yes. First of all, why do you need this much information this many times?
Mm-hmm.
I shouldn't have to give you my address and my list of contacts and all of that in triplicate. But I get to the end of this long thing of paperwork and I'm filling out the thing. I'm like, oh, it's a palindrome day. And it just instantly made my day better. So you set your standards low enough.
That's true.
You really can experience universal phenomena.
There is the quote from the movie Dodgeball about set the bar low and that way you're never disappointed.
I always quote The Simpsons.
Yeah.
There's an episode where it was Marge. Something happens to Marge. She just comes in. She goes, "I have some advice for you kids. Aim low. Aim so low that when you do succeed, no one will know anything happened at all."
There you go. Yeah, there's something they said there. Just kidding.
Mm-hmm.
Aim high.
Well, aim up.
Aim mediocre.
That's what I'll say. Aim upwards.
Yeah. And to be honest, that's vintage Seinfeld-esque humor.
Mm-hmm.
That's the whole Unfrosted movie is full of that.
Nice.
That
See,
whole
that-
and that's it.
That does
I think
sound
you're
like
gonna
it's-
like it.
that
I
does
think
sound
you're gonna
like
watch
it's
through it
up
and you're
my
gonna be like, I can appreciate the humor.
Now, there is one thing I do have to say.
Mm-hmm.
Now we have a guest patiently waiting, obviously,
Yes.
so I'll make it brief. But you said several times that in watching the show Shameless,
yes,
you thought that I would absolutely enjoy it. It would be a show that's right up my alley. It's got which is neat and I appreciate it. And you're absolutely right.
Yeah.
But here's the thing.
Yeah.
I don't know if you knew how close to home that show hits to me.
Probably not.
Like, I'm watching some of the things that this family does just to get by.
Yeah.
And boy, howdy, is it reminiscent of my childhood. Like, in a lot of ways.
Yeah, that I don't know.
And as I'm watching this, I'm like, what does Mike know about my backstory?
To be honest, what I liked about the show is, yeah, it's a messed up family, but they're family.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And it's true. And they always come together.
And I loved that aspect of the show. I love no matter how, even with the dad just being a complete hot mess, you know.
I've never
And you want to
hated-
punch somebody in the face no more than William H. Macy in this show.
That's a testament to William H. Macy's acting ability. Because as Frank, I've never hated a TV character more in my whole life. And it gets worse every episode.
But here's the
crazy.
thing: as you get into seasons, that's just cements more like that family, because especially as they get into more and more, you know, tumultuous situations as they do. I mean, when you have 7 or 8 seasons of the show,
11 actually. I think it was.
It gets pretty dark at some
Right.
point, you know, and you know, it still gets, and that's what I loved about it. It's like, despite odds, this family stuck together, and that's, at the end of the day, that's the message of the show, I think, and that's what I loved about it. So,
Yeah.
you know, yes, it's a lot of butt awkward, a lot of, oh my, I mean, even as actors, some of the things they do in this show, you're like, that they had to be like, what do you got me doing now? Look at
Yeah.
this. Look, what's on the paper here.
We've had those moments where we're like, okay, now how does that work? How is this supposed to work now? Yeah, so it's a very interesting show.
But that's part of what I love that show too, is, you know, they would throw a little twist here and there on you with these, and they're comedic to me.
Yeah.
And you're just like, okay, that's a character trait change there, you know. So that's what I loved about that show. So I think you're gonna, even though it's cringe on you a little bit, as you get more invested in the characters, you're gonna get more cemented. And at some point, you're gonna be like, I'm not tearing up, you're tearing up.
Yeah, that's actually happened, I believe, once or twice already this season.
Yeah,
in just the first season.
Yeah,
again, just because of how close to home it hits in some aspects.
It's a show that you get invested in, and that's what I love. Even if it's makes you a little uncomfortable.
Oh yeah,
if they can get you invested in the story, then it's a win. And that's Shameless is one of those. You are invested in the story. You care about the people and want to know what, you know, and wish them the best at the end. That's
sure.
That's or the worst, depending on the character.
I still hate Lip's face. Like I've always that he's got a very punchable face.
Oh my gosh! After watching Iron Claw this weekend, I cannot see Lip the same.
No,
he is so jacked in this, especially after seeing Shameless. Of course, he's a kid in the first season of that, but my God, is he jacked?
They went through a ton of training and working, you know, to get that physique and in-ring work to learn how to actually take bumps and stuff.
Lip looks like a totally different person in that, you know. I mean, his face is the same. The face but he's also got the Von Erich hair,
right?
The mullet-y type hair that the Von Erichs had. The Texas tuxedo haircut.
I'm gonna have to check that out. You said it was on what, Max?
No, Netflix. No, I'm sorry. It's on Max.
Okay.
Yeah, it's on Max.
Cool.
I'm sorry. I
will
apologize.
check that out.
The Unfrosted is on Netflix. Max has Iron Claw.
So. Nice.
Patrick Smith with Leadership Roswell Alumni Association going to join us here in just a minute. Of course, taking nominations for the Leadership Roswell Alumni Awards Banquet, which will be taking place later here in June. But now we're coming up on the deadline to get your nominations turned in for our various award recipients. So we'll talk about that with Patrick here in just a second. Before we do anything else, though, let's go ahead and take a gander at that weather.
I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton with your Pecos Valley weather. We've got high pressure set up for a while, mid-80s on the afternoon high today, and we should have plenty of sunshine. The wind will stay fairly light. Mid-50s for the overnight hours under clear skies, and then we're in the low 90s for the afternoon high on Tuesday and sunny. A few clouds on Tuesday night. We'll have sunshine on Wednesday. Slim chance of a late-day shower or thunderstorm. I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton, and that's your latest forecast.
Thank you, Steve. Currently 70 degrees here in Roswell. Humidity's at 30%. Winds are calm at the moment. We are looking at a pretty nice day today. Sunny and 85. Winds will be out of the north 5 to 10. Clear tonight. Looking at an overnight low of 56 degrees with south winds 5 to 10 miles per hour. Tuesday, back into the low 90s. Sunny and 92. Northwest winds 5 to 10 miles per hour. Wednesday, sunny and 91, northwest winds 5 to 15 miles per hour. They're looking at a 40% chance at rain Thursday. Scattered showers and thunderstorms for the afternoon, mostly sunny, 81 for a high. We're also looking at a 20% chance of showers and thunderstorms Thursday night with an overnight low of 57. Sunny back into the upper 80s on Friday, and then warming up for the weekend. Sunny and 94 Saturday, sunny and 97 on Sunday. So pushing ever so close to century mark. Probably not going to hit it, but we'll tickle it for on Sunday, sounds like. All right, it is 9:18. We're going to take a quick commercial break. I say quick. It's not quick. It's got political ads in about 4 or 5 minutes. So we're going to take a commercial break, and then Patrick Smith with Leadership Roswell Alumni Association will join us. Don't go away. You're listening to Mornings with Mike Winters.
Mayday! 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 Attention Roswell and surrounding areas. Trade in and trade up to a new Ford or quality pre-owned vehicle for thousands less during May Trade Days at the all-new Roswell Ford. The all-new Roswell Ford has new management and a whole new attitude. And this week, any trade goes. Stuck in your loan or lease? Roswell Ford wants to get you released, even if you owe thousands more than your trade is worth, regardless of make or miles. Get huge savings on new Fords with rates as low as 0% for 66 months with no payments till July 4th. Plus, we have a great selection of low-mileage, one-owner pre-owned vehicles, all in prime condition, starting at just $10,000. Don't settle for a low-quality, overpriced clunker. Buy a quality pre-owned vehicle from Roswell Ford for a lot less. Worried about your credit? Don't sweat it. We've partnered with the most aggressive lenders that will push to approve you today, even with bad or no credit. Lower prices, exceptional trade-in values, and a better buying experience. Get on board at Roswell Ford, 821 North Main Street in beautiful Roswell, or online at roswellford.com. $1,515 per thousand financed on select models with approved credit.
We teach our kids to say please and thank you to total strangers, but we get so familiar in our marriages and families, we stop being polite to each other. Hi, this is Pastor Troy and my wife, Miss Julie Smotherman, for The Joy of Marriage.
In the love chapter of 1 Corinthians 13, it says that love is patient and kind. Love is not jealous or boastful or proud or rude. We emphasize being polite to each other in our family, which promotes an attitude of respect and brings peace in our home. Remember your manners with the person you love the most. Appreciate the things they do for you and let them know.
Being polite to each other can help you avoid conflict. Let's be polite to strangers, but let's not give our best to the people we don't live with. Let's give our best to each other.
If you have any questions or would like further information about the Joy of Marriage Ministry, please go to jomconference.com.
You may be wondering why an Eastern New Mexico rancher wants to be part of our state Senate. The answer is simple. I want our conservative values heard in Santa Fe. My name is Pat Boone, and I'm running for New Mexico Senate District 27. This beautiful state is primarily rural land, and my family's been ranching here since 1884. I'll fight for your land rights, your parental rights, and your right to bear arms. I'd appreciate your Republican primary vote on June 4th.
Paid for by the committee to elect Pat Boone, Mark McKay, Treasurer.
Hi, this is Jim Gill from Roswell Seed Company, here to announce that our geraniums are ready. So now the great debate begins. Are they pink or are they raspberry sorbet? Are they orange or are they Caribbean coral? Well, whatever you call them, they're the prettiest geraniums anywhere. We raise them in our own greenhouse, then send them home with you to brighten up the world. So come get yours now while the selection is best. Don't worry about the silly names.
I heard that.
Yes, dear. Coming, dear. Right away, dear. Of course, you're right.
If you're missing a tooth or several teeth, a dental implant may be the ultimate solution. Implants look and feel so much like real teeth that you probably forget you have an implant. Maupin & Brown Dentistry is one of New Mexico's most experienced implant providers, with literally thousands of implant patients who are absolutely delighted with the results. Call Maupin & Brown today for an evaluation. You'll be surprised how affordable implants can be. Maupin & Brown, your choice for experienced, state-of-the-art dentistry.
It's time once again for the New Mexico Cattle Growers Association's mid-year meeting, happening June 9th through the 11th at the Ruidoso Convention Center. Registration is now open for the Memorial Golf Tournament and trade show with tons of vendors, plus a Cattle Growers exclusive event, Race Day at Ruidoso Downs. Cost is $70 per person. And don't miss the awards dinner and dance with a performance by Tel Runyon. Cost is $25 per person. To register for this mid-year meeting, log on to nmagriculture.org or call the NMCGA at 505-247-0584. Ad paid for by Lincoln County Lodgers Tax.
This is Chaves County Sheriff Mike Harrington. Candy Ezell is running for the state senate, and I want to tell you why she's the best person for this job. Candy has been fighting for us, As a state representative, she's been an advocate for law enforcement and for the rule of law. She's been voting against Michelle Lujan Grisham's attacks on the Second Amendment for years. And whenever Candy stands up and says no, people pay attention. That's why we need her in the state Senate. She's also been fighting for all the policies that have led us to the border crisis, including opposing catch and release of violent criminals, drivers, and professional licenses for illegals. A vote for Candy Ezell is a vote to restore law and order and to secure the border here in New Mexico. This is Chaves County Sheriff Mike Harrington asking you to vote for Candy Spence Ezell for State Senate District 32.
I'm Candy Spence Ezell asking for your vote in the upcoming Republican primary on June the 4th.
Paid for by Candy Spence Ezell for State Senate District 32.
Here's a Mornings with Mike Winters fun fact. 47.2% of all statistics are made up on the spot. Is this true? I'd say chances are about 50%. Here's Mike Winters.
And good morning. It is 24 minutes after 9 o'clock. And joining us in studio this morning, not wearing a hat, but wearing his Leadership Roswell Alumni Association hat, Patrick Smith back with us. Good morning.
Good morning. Thanks for having me again.
Anytime. Yeah. Of course, we had you on a couple weeks ago as we were talking about the Leadership Roswell Alumni Association. Their annual awards banquet's coming up here in June.
Yep.
On the
28th.
28th. Thank you. And but and granted, you're like, well, that's like a month plus away, and all that. And yes, you got a little time to get your orders in for the banquet. If you want to get your tickets and all that, you can still do that. But we are coming up on another deadline here.
Yep.
The whole point of the awards banquet is to honor leaders in our community. And we do that through votes by the public. The public nominate people. We have different categories from lifetime achievement to working with youth to working with the Leadership Roswell to even last year we added a corporate entity community organization award, and Peppers was our first recipient there. And so we're doing it again this year. So now we're coming up here. We got May 15th, so we got about 2 more days here.
Yep, a couple more days
to get get your nominations in. So if you have not made your nominations yet, we're officially in the 2-minute warning.
That's right.
This is it. Time to get online and get an application and get it filled out and get it turned back in. Please help us do this. We want to make sure that we honor those folks that are making a difference in our community.
Yeah, and we want to be able to celebrate with their family and their friends to come along to the banquet. So that's why we close it off with enough time to get them to tell their family and their friends to get there. So, we've got 5 awards that are available for nominations. We've got the Leadership Roswell Alumni Award. We've got the Outstanding Leader Award. We've got the Lifetime Achievement Award.
Yes.
The Dedication to Youth Award, and then our Organization Award, which we started last year.
Yeah.
So we've got opportunity for all types of leaders to be recognized and celebrated, and that's what the desire is for the Leadership Roswell Alumni Association and this banquet, is to celebrate our leaders in the community.
Absolutely. Now, good news is when you get the application, it does give a description of each of the awards. So if you're kind of like a little fuzzy on what the qualifications are, it tells you in there. But more importantly, attached is a list of previous winners.
Correct.
So if you're thinking, I bet so-and-so deserves this, well, look on the list. You're probably right. They already got it. So
could be,
which is very possible. So so that way, if you're thinking, maybe I want to nominate someone, but they're so involved, they might have already received it. You can see the list there.
Right.
The one that that you're actually going to want that a little bit is for the Lifetime Achievement Award. That, obviously we're going to see the person that receives that award is going to be a little bit senior, a little bit more seasoned. They've spent a lifetime serving the community in various ways, shape, or form. And these are those people that you always see at your church, or you always go to a sports thing, and there they are. They're the ones. Or you go to Chili Cheese Fest or some tent pole thing here, and there they are. That's those people. They've usually spent sometimes they're not even with us anymore. We've had they've passed.
We've had a couple of those who have passed for us. Yep.
Yeah, but they've really spent their lifetime dedicating leadership and service to our community.
Yep.
Here. So think about that one that way. Outstanding Leader Award. That's kind of a catch-all. That's we can't quite put a finger on how great they are, but it is they're always there. So that one, and then a commitment to youth. Those coaches, those scout leaders, those church group leaders, those individuals that your kids just gravitate towards because they just when you as a parent are trying to teach them their way in the world. Sometimes that coach or that scout leader can make headway where you can't.
That's right.
And so this is where you get to honor those folks.
Yep.
And then, of course, your Roswell Alumni Award, Leadership Roswell Alumni Award.
Mm-hmm.
We have the Leadership Roswell class is 30-plus years. I don't know the exact number, but it's over 30. And there's 30 people in a class each of those years. There might be a few years where there wasn't. But do just rough math, that's a lot of alumni over 30 years.
Yep.
And so those people, the whole point of Leadership Roswell in the class is to create leaders so they can go on and serve and make an impact in our community. Well, those folks, we want to honor those too. The ones that are alumni that are making that impact in our community, making that impact to our Leadership Roswell program. That's that award to highlight those. And then, of course, like you said, the newest one, the organizational award.
Right.
Could be a business, could be a nonprofit, just an organization or a business or a group of people that are going above and beyond to make an impact in our community.
Yep. That's right. So this award ceremony is really designed to celebrate all types of leaders throughout the community, those who have served for a long, long time, those who are tenured in the community. But we also look to have this be an operation to generate some revenue for our operation.
It is a major fundraiser
for our Leadership Roswell.
Yep.
And so for the Alumni Association, because we put on some activities throughout the year that just don't bring in, and we want to make sure that we offset those things.
Absolutely.
But in years past, we've had this banquet help to celebrate and organize funds for the Teen Leadership Institute, which just finished a few weekends ago.
Which they give scholarships to those high school juniors and seniors.
Yep.
Yeah, quite a bit, actually.
Oh, yeah.
They're throwing out $1,500 like it's M&M's over there. So,
well, they're not throwing it out.
You know what I mean? But yes, they are passing out a lot of money.
And those students are definitely deserving. They go through quite a weekend of activity. And the banquet is the banquet has served that before. And so we're looking also to bring back some things that we haven't had in a while, some more leadership, kind of extracurricular leadership workshops.
Sure.
And we're looking to bring some fellowship back to the leadership alumni. And so some of that stuff will be offset by the costs with the revenue coming from the banquet. So it is a little fundraiser.
Absolutely. And of course, one of the main, objectives or reasons, purposes of the Leadership Roswell alumni is to support the Leadership Roswell program.
Right.
So monies will also continue to help support in some of the projects and some of the things that the current leadership class are involved in.
Yep.
We kind of, as an alumni, kind of slip in to kind of help nurture that kind of stuff.
Yep. We also provide some scholarship for the Leadership Roswell program itself for the candidates to participate. And so we help to support them to do that.
Well, and we can use more of that money.
That's
Trust
right.
me.
Yep.
Because I also sit on the other perspective there, and they're going to need some more money.
Yeah.
So.
That's right.
Please come support this.
Yep. So the deadline for nominations is coming up this Wednesday on the 15th. And to submit your nominations, there's a couple of ways. You can find me on the Facebook with our Leadership Roswell alumni groups. Or if you're a Leadership Roswell class member, just find me on Facebook, Patrick Smith.
Yeah.
Or you can send me a direct email to my Gmail account, which is PTRCKSM as in Mary, TH04@gmail. And that email is on our nomination form.
Yep. And I believe if you call the chamber and ask Andrea if you can get a copy of it, she'll be happy to get or be able to get one you on. No problems if you're not advanced in all this internet stuff.
Right.
Like, can I just go to the chamber and pick up a printed off document of this? Yes, we can make that happen.
Yep.
Call the chamber and Andrea will get one printed off.
That's right. Or you can send a note or send your nomination to the Historical Society.
Yes, Amy over
there is wonderful and certainly an alumni and helped with a number of things with our board. And she said that she will take those nominations and hold them for us. So there's plenty of ways to get a hold of us with your nominations.
Absolutely. But there isn't plenty of time left to do it.
That's correct.
That's the problem. Close of business this Wednesday the 15th.
Yes.
They have to be in. So get your applications today. Get them filled out the next day or so, and get them turned in by the end of the day on Wednesday.
That's right.
And so we can have those nominations, then we can start letting our winners know, and obviously then start getting your tickets for which, again, same forms and fashion. You can order if you know an alumni member, or if you go online here, you can place your order for tickets for the actual banquet, which will take place on the 28th. New location this year. We're down on the Eastern New Mexico University Roswell campus.
Yep, Dr. Powell's been super gracious to help to provide some space at the ITC Commons.
Yeah.
And so they're going to be great for us. We're excited to partner with them. We're going to be down there June 28th, starting at 6 o'clock.
Yeah. So, and food's going to be good, and it's always... by the way, if you'd like to support for that, we like we said, we honor our leaderships, but we also collect, raise money for these scholarships and things. So there will be a silent auction.
Yes,
there will be those types of things. So if you like to donate for our silent auction, or if you'd like to sponsor or purchase a table, now's the time.
Yep, we changed up our sponsorships a little bit this year to try a different flavor, and so we've got a tiered level of sponsorship. And so our gold level $350 will get you a table, and you could decide if you're the sponsoring, you could decide to bring members to sit at the table or just sponsor the table.
Sure, or just say, hey,
we've got organizations that have done both.
Pay it forward.
That's
and
right.
Find 8 people that could use a meal that night.
Yep.
And let them
And if you've got an organization that wants to do this sponsor, then your organization logo will be all throughout our promotional material.
Absolutely.
It'll be our Facebook page. We'll have some documentation there. We'll have a public thank you. We'll have some small gifts for those who attend at the $350 level. So then we've got other tiered sponsor levels, $250 and $150. And if you just can't make a full table, but you want to help to support, we'd be very grateful to get that.
Absolutely.
And silent auction is another piece that last year it was designated to go to the TLI course. But we're looking to find another opportunity for this year to still continue to support TLI, but support
expand
others
and create some of these new programs and opportunities.
Yep. So if you have some items that you'd like to help to deliver for our silent auction, give me a buzz. Let me know.
Yeah.
But that silent auction will help to bring some more monies in to help support our operation for Leadership Roswell alumni.
And it is, and like other, silent auction, same types of things. If you've got a business that wants to offer services, or if you've got a trip and experience, those always are great. Even collections of gift cards, those are great.
Right.
Or if you want to theme a package for, we're going to do a pampering package or a grilling package or a car guy package or whatever, whatever you want to do. We joked last time, but I bet it'll happen again since we do have a Dutton.
I hope she's listening.
So we generally usually play the last few years. We've had Yellowstone themed
That's right.
basket as well. That the Duttons, not the Montana Duttons, our Roswell Duttons,
right?
Donate for the cause.
Yep, we've had some donated memorabilia. We've had some artwork.
Yeah.
We've had some shooting sports equipment and
antiques over the years.
Oh,
I've
yeah.
seen a few antiques in there. It really is kind of hodgepodge, but even if you're thinking, well, I don't have anything simple like that. If you want to donate a half dozen gift cards and say, here, make that, I'm telling you, we will make money for our projects with that. You load up with Starbucks and McDonald's and Lone Star Steakhouse gift cards.
Yep.
People will buy those.
Yep. Yep. This year we're shooting we've got a little internal goal with our awards committee to get to at least $1,000 for our banquet silent auction proceeds. So anything that anybody can help us with that would be wonderful, because that just gives us more opportunity to give back to the community and to our potential scholarship winners.
Yeah. And I'd even like to throw out if you're an alumni, if you in the 30+ years history of Leadership Roswell, you are a student of one of the classes. You are an alumni. You're part of the alumni. Right. If you graduated from the class, whether it was last year or 20 years ago, you're part of the alumni.
Yep.
And we'd love to invite you to come out to the banquet, to come and have a meal and rekindle and chit chat, meet some of the new classmates or the new alumni over the years here. And of course, if you want to get more involved, our board, everything, it's kind of a fluid, because a lot of us are so busy, and I kind of was a victim of that too, where I just couldn't, do all this. But we need more faces, more bodies, more people to get involved, and And it doesn't matter if you haven't done Leadership Roswell in a few years. We'd love to have you come back and get perspective. Maybe there's some things that were done 20, 30 years ago that we need to be bringing back that it fell by the wayside.
That's
for
right.
Whatever
Give us
reason.
a little kick in the tush and get us back on track.
Yeah, if there's something, we want that experience in there. So, come reach out to Patrick here or any alumni member, and they'll be happy to tell you when our next meeting is. And
our alumni board is meeting this Thursday, and we're looking to have our annual internal meeting to also prepare for the presentation at the banquet. But at this annual meeting, we're looking to bring on and do some nominations for officers and new board members.
Good deal. So if you want to serve, it's a good time
that are to be rotated off, but also eligible still to be on. So, but if you're interested in helping to support the Alumni Association and help to give back, please give me a buzz and let me know, and we put you on and chat more with you to see what your desire is. But yeah, we've got some seats open, and we've got some board member positions that are available if you'd like to help to join and participate.
It's great networking and stuff.
Oh yeah.
You were in Leadership Roswell, it's a who's who. You get to meet and greet, but you really are making an impact, and it's great to see, because there is a shift too of, we're seeing the classes and by design, and should be, we're, some of our classes where, yes, we always have a few seasoned people, but by and large, these are younger 20s, 30s. Most of these, the classmates of that time, and they're either, new to Roswell or kind of new into their leadership roles and positions. And so this is a chance to kind of mold and shape our next future, our generation.
Right.
This next, and some of them are already hitting the ground running. But, over the next 10 years, some of these people are going to be decision makers.
That's right.
In our community. And so we need our old heads to foster and nurture and be involved.
That's right.
So please consider that. Come talk. Come out to the meeting on Thursday and say, hey, I heard on the radio, I'm class of 85, whatever it is. Let's bring it.
Yep. And who knows? You may run into, if you were not a part of the class and you'd like to get back into it, we can help you get into that application process.
Absolutely. We're also in a time where they're taking applications.
That's right. Yep.
We're in that season well too.
In our class, we had the Dr. Sean Powell, the president of the university. Yes. Right. We had Fire Chief Matt Miller, who was at the time
He was fire inspection or safety.
Inspector,
code enforcement or something maybe. Yeah.
We had some admin from the Roswell School District.
Yeah.
We had you and I, beautiful bald. One of us was balding then, and
I was still balding. I was giving out, still holding on to hope.
There you go. Both of us were in that class, but we had a lot of great people, personalities, and leaders.
And MMI, we had some leadership from
that's
MMI
right. We had
in our class.
Representation. So.
Was the county manager? I believe city manager at the time was in our class too.
Yep.
Yeah,
so
city manager at the time was too. So yeah, we had
pretty good stretch.
Who's who of the town at the time. And that's what the class is. It's
well,
really
and a lot of educators from the school district are getting in, not just from the admin side, but from the school side, which is wonderful.
The student level, absolutely.
Yeah, teachers and support staff, and they're getting into
and we're going to get Rick in the group here as we get closer. But yeah, the Leadership Roswell is an amazing program. Now's the time to start getting those applications in there. They're going to be doing a run here usually in July is when they announce the new class and everything, and then by August, the end of August, we'll have our welcome reception and roll right into the next class here. So now's the time you can, again, go through the chamber or Leadership Roswell. You can get applications, but I don't remember the deadline, but it's not that far away.
Right. It's coming up soon, I'm sure.
Yeah. But that class is so, like you said, we're both products of it. And Rick and the staff, you get to see Roswell in a different light. You get to, it's a leadership class. You're learning leadership skills. You're doing exercises and seeing and meeting and getting exposed to leaders throughout the state of New Mexico, not just here in Roswell. But you're also, it's the connection, the network side, how the sausage is made a little bit here.
Right.
If you need to have dealings with the city government or the county government, this is how it works. This is how it navigates. The court system, all of that stuff, the jails.
Yep.
Even, you get a chance to see how the sausage is made on this.
You go out to Loprino, you go out to Dairies, you go down to Fletsy, you go up to the state capitol. You go all over the place.
So you see the business side, the government side, the nonprofit side. You see all of the above here, and in between all that, it's actual leadership exercises, classes, activities. So it's all and inspirational, motivate from everything in between. Where he just talking about why we do this, and even helpful skill sets. The Rick Hale clock. That's time management, things like that. There's it's leadership too, but it's also just some life hacks.
That's
a little bit and navigating life, and which translates to leadership. But
Yep.
really, it's all that. So please get your applications in. Make it hard for our selection committee.
Yeah.
They're only allowed to let 30 in. Sometimes they'll get as many as 50, 60 applications sometimes. So it's not unheard of, or they've had that many. So I'd like to see that back again. Where, COVID did put a damper on some of those numbers, but pre-COVID, we were getting like 50, 60 people applying.
Yep.
And only 30 can get in. So I'd like to see that back to we're having that. Rick will be mad because that's a lot of negative phone calls you got to make. But, it garners that interest, which is good.
Right.
So. But come support our banquet. Come.
That's right.
I know we've hit you with a lot here over. In meantime, the most important thing you need to do is get your nomination forms filled out. The deadline to get that done is Wednesday by close of business.
That's correct.
Here. Get them turned in through the Leadership Roswell Facebook or whatever here, and get that downloaded and start throwing some love and shine to those people that are making differences.
We've got a few submissions already, and we certainly could use some more to make it difficult to find the right. And we would love to have that difficult right to find the right, but we want to be able to celebrate our leadership who have put a lot of heart and soul into our community, and this is the time to do it. And we need the support from the community to do it, not just alumni of the program. Everybody is eligible to submit nominations.
We have our eyeballs in lots of places, but they're not in every place.
That's right.
And so we need you to be our eyeballs, and let's spotlight. And unfortunately, the people that you're spotlighting would never do this for themselves. Most of them are going to be like, I don't want nothing to do with this. I'm just about doing my thing. So guess what? The onus is on us to put them on a pedestal.
That's right.
Because they're too humble to even think about something. Most of them, and so we got to do it. We got to brag on them to do that for us here.
We love to celebrate, and we want to celebrate with them and their families. So
and come out and celebrate with us. In Eastern, we'll put on a great menu and meal, and we're very appreciative. And it'll be a great night of laughing and crying. I guarantee you're going to be laughing at some point, a little teared up at another point. It's just that's the nature of it.
I've been practicing my jokes for a little bit, so be ready for that. Get some dad jokes going.
Some of the crying might be because of the jokes. I'm saying.
Yeah.
That's all right. For every good joke I have, there's 6 stinkers that hit out there before that.
That's right.
Absolutely. But Patrick, is anything we missed? Anything we wanted to get covered?
No, just again, nominations are due the 15th this month. So this Wednesday for our leadership candidate or our leadership to be awards. And you can send them directly to me. Find me on the Facebook. We'll make sure that the chamber can see and be utilized. Or you can drop them off at the Historical Society, and we'll get them. So we can help to honor and celebrate our leaders of Chaves County.
We have some great people, and quite frankly, we don't have enough words to give them all.
That's right.
But please help us nominate. Let's spotlight these people and let them know how much this community appreciates what they do. And as much as they'll kind of like, aw shucks, and no, not necessary. No, we need to do this. These people deserve that. Again, just pretty much like you said, on Facebook, type in Leadership Roswell Alumni, and there should be enough pages that pop up in the search that they all should have a copy of the nominating form and the list and everything we just talked about here. And of course, if to get your lock in your sponsorships or
table sponsors,
or
silent auction items,
or you just need a pair of tickets to sit at a table to eat some food and honor your friends, or come to bid on our stuff. I don't know any of the people, but I like to bid on silent auctions. Come on. We love to have you. We love people bidding on silent auctions. Good deal. Well, thank you, Patrick.
Thanks, Mike, for having me on again.
Anytime. It is 9:48. This morning is zipping by. Let's do this. Let's pause for news, Hannity update, some political ads, because I got some, and then we'll wrap up the show. Don't go away.
Now, your Pecos Valley News Update. I'm Jared Cirillo. Artesia General Hospital recently welcomed Scott Beard as the new head of urogynecology. Dr. Beard previously served as chief of surgery at Norlee General Hospital in Lovington. With about 25 years' experience in women's health, Dr. Beard treats a wide range of conditions like incontinence, chronic pelvic pain, prolapse, difficulty with urination or bowel movements, endometriosis, and others through surgical and non-surgical care. Dr. Beard is currently accepting new patients at Memorial Family Practice in Artesia. 2 former Eddy County residents have reportedly been captured and arrested in Mexico. David Haynes and Johnny Crowley were considered fugitives on the run, with arrest warrants out for both. They were found hiding out in Juarez, Mexico, according to the FBI. Haynes is accused of trafficking about 17,000 fentanyl pills from his home in Carlsbad. Crowley was wanted for a probation violation. The FBI has reportedly begun extradition proceedings with Mexico. You're up to date. I'm Jared Sorello reporting.
Your morning espresso starts right here. It's the Sean Hannity Morning Minute.
Even David Axelrod is right. You look at this Biden economy, he points out what an insane mistake it is that could result in his defeat if he keeps pushing this lie that is at odds with the reality that the American people are living, that their money is worth about $12,000 less than when Donald Trump was president. He says, I don't understand. They spent all this money pushing Bidenomics and touting Bidenomics, and it's not resonating. What part of this are you not understanding? And then rightly points out that on the issue and the handling of the economy, Americans by larger and larger numbers trust Donald Trump over Joe Biden.
The Sean Hannity Show from coast to coast later today.
Hey guys, breaking news. Did you hear that gold hit an all-time high? And based on market analysis, it could soar even higher. With inflation increasing, global tensions escalating, and central banks buying gold at record levels, the gold boom could skyrocket to over $7,000 an ounce. In fact, experts claim that the gold investing madness is just getting started. And that's why we partnered with the highest rated gold company, Goldco. They have earned over 5,000 five-star reviews from tens of thousands of happy customers who have diversified their savings with gold and silver. Today, Goldco is offering you up to 8 years in free IRA fees plus 8% instant match in bonus silver with a qualified account. Call 855-815-GOLD for free IRA fees, bonus silver, and a free gold and silver info kit. What are you waiting for? Join the tens of thousands of people who have already joined the gold rush and diversified their savings with gold and silver. Call 855-815-GOLD now. That's 855-815-GOLD now.
I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton with your Pecos Valley weather. We've got high pressure set up for a while, mid-80s on the afternoon high today, and we should have plenty of sunshine. The wind will stay fairly light. Mid-50s for the overnight hours under clear skies, and then we're in the low 90s for the afternoon high on Tuesday and sunny. A few clouds on Tuesday night. We'll have sunshine on Wednesday. Slim chance of a late-day shower or thunderstorm. I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton, and that's your latest forecast.
With the Wall Street Business Report, I'm Bob Agnew. Washington correspondent Jennifer King shares experts' concerns over interest rates in an upcoming inflation report.
Economist Gennady Goldberg with TD Securities says the average rate for a new 30-year mortgage is nearly 7.1%, but the average rate on all outstanding mortgages is just 3.8%, the highest gap since the 1980s. Neil Kashkari, president of the Federal Reserve's Minneapolis branch, says it may take longer for the Fed's rate hikes to be felt, so the most likely scenario is that rates stay put for an extended period of time. Jennifer King, Washington.
Workers at the first Apple store to unionize have now also authorized the first strike against the tech giant's retail operations. A statement from the union representing the workers at a store in Towson, Maryland, say that they voted late Saturday to authorize a strike. No date for the walkout has been set so far. For the Wall Street Business Report, I'm Bob Agnew.
New Mexico Governor Lujan Grisham has pursued an agenda to seriously impair and remove your Second Amendment rights to use, own, or purchase firearms and firearm-related items in our state. Last legislative session, District 27 Republican Senator Greg Nybert worked effectively and successfully with the NRA and other pro-Second Amendment groups to defeat the governor's attempt to ban or register firearms and accessories. We must retain legislators like Senator Nybert, who has the proven knowledge, skills, and experience to stop the liberal progressives from imposing upon our constitutional rights. Senator Nybert is the only candidate running for Senate District 27 to be rated A and endorsed by the NRA. Please vote to retain Senator Greg Nybert for Senate District 27.
Paid for by Greg Nybert for State Senate.
Artesia General Hospital's Rehabilitation Center is here to help you recover and get back to the activities you love. Rehabilitation services include physical, occupational, and speech therapy, all led by experienced licensed therapists. From symptom management to patient education, customized home exercise programs, and family support, Artesia General Hospital's integrated approach to rehabilitation is designed to facilitate your best possible recovery so you can get back to work, back to play, and back to life. Learn more at artesiageneral.com/rehab or by calling 575-736-8174.
Edge Safety and Services, LLC in Artesia, New Mexico has an immediate opening for roustabout crew and a safety technician. Position requires a clean driving record and must be able to pass a drug and alcohol screening. Edge Safety offers great pay with IRA benefits and employer contribution towards health benefits. Please email resumes to edgecoding@yahoo.com or apply in person at 2801 North Freeman in Artesia. Edge Safety and Services is an equal opportunity employer.
Mayday! 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 Attention Roswell and surrounding areas. Trade in and trade up to a new Ford or quality pre-owned vehicle for thousands less during May Trade Days at the all-new Roswell Ford. The all-new Roswell Ford has new management and a whole new attitude. And this week, any trade goes. Stuck in your loan or lease? Roswell Ford wants to get you released, even if you owe thousands more than your trade is worth, regardless of make or miles. Get huge savings on new Fords with rates as low as 0% for 66 months with no payments till July 4th. Plus, we have a great selection of low mileage, one-owner pre-owned vehicles, all in prime condition, starting at just $10,000. Don't settle for a low-quality, overpriced clunker. Buy a quality pre-owned vehicle from Roswell Ford for a lot less. Worried about your credit? Don't sweat it. We've partnered with the most aggressive lenders that will push to approve you today, even with bad or no credit. Lower prices, exceptional trade-in values, and a better buying experience. Get on board at Roswell Ford, 821 North Main Street in beautiful Roswell, or online at roswellford.com. $15.15 per thousand financed on select models with approved credit.
It's becoming more challenging to be an educator today. If you'd like to consider a change in your teaching environment where you can teach students how to learn instead of what to learn while centering your classes day around God, consider a position with Artesia Classical Academy. Artesia Classical Academy has positions in music, art, kindergarten through second grade, and various seventh grade subjects available, and they are now offering competitive pay. If you're interested in a teaching environment with more freedom to teach, please reach out to Artesia Classical Academy. Call or visit artesiaclassicalacademy.org. Artesia Classical Academy, preparing minds for action.
At New Mexico Gas Company, we believe there's money hiding in your home. It's true. It's hiding in your insulation, in your water heater, and in your furnace. And New Mexico Gas Company can help you tap into that money with rebates up to $800 for high-efficiency natural gas improvements. Your energy costs will go down, and your wallet will thank you. We're New Mexico Gas Company, and we provide energy efficiency solutions to save you money. That's why we're here. Learn more at nmgcgetrebates.com.
Eastern New Mexico University is proud to announce our newest offering, a Master of Social Work degree. This 100% online, affordable master's degree has 3 concentrations: clinical, clinical military, and children, youth, and families. This online master's degree is perfect for the working professional, as you can earn your degree on your own time with our flexible online courses. For more information, visit www.enmu.edu/MSW. Eastern New Mexico University. Student success. That's what we're about.
Hi, this is Jim Gill from Roswell Sea Cup, here to announce that our geraniums are ready. So now the great debate begins. Are they pink or are they raspberry sorbet? Are they orange or are they Caribbean coral? Well, whatever you call them, they're the prettiest geraniums anywhere. We raise them in our own greenhouse, then send them home with you to brighten up the world. So come get yours now while the selection is best. Don't worry about the silly names.
I heard that.
Yes, dear. Coming, dear. Right away, dear. Of course, you're right.
Here's a Mornings with Mike Winters fun fact. Did you know you share your birthday with at least 9 million other people in the world? Your birthday isn't feeling so special now, is it? Here's Mike Winters.
And good morning. It is 9:58, about ready to wrap up today's show. If you missed any part of today's show, you can always go back and check it out at your leisure. Just log on to ksvptv.com, click on the Mornings with Mike Winters channel, and you'll find all of our videos there. This morning, we started the day off with Matt Bristol from Bristol Law Office, and we every time we talk with him, we always talk sage legal advice, and we talk a little bit about different types of business and the ways to set up business. And so if you're a small business owner or looking to be a small business owner, Matt had some good advice for you this morning. In the 8 o'clock hour, we had Jim Tucker join us with the Pecos Valley Amateur Radio Club. Just give an update from them, and they're the ham radio guys. And if you're wanting to get into ham or into ham, maybe you're new to the area and looking for people that do ham, well, we got a whole club of them, and of course, they got some events coming up and stuff too. So, invite you to check that interview with Jim. And of course, just a few minutes ago, we had Patrick Smith join us from Leadership Roswell Alumni Association, talking about their Leadership Alumni Awards banquet coming up June 28th. But the deadline for nominations for our leaders, outstanding leader, youth leader, all those. Deadlines coming up on May 15th, this Wednesday. Look for Leadership Roswell Alumni Facebook for that. We got to go. You're listening to 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM, KEND, Roswell, New Mexico. Have a great day, everybody.
Breaking news this hour from townhall.com. I'm John Scott. Israel observing Memorial Day, and this year's observance marked by profound sadness.